Greetings and hello, individuals of the internet. Welcome back to Neon Lights Roleplay. I'm here for the Seven Sons.
You are indeed here.
I'm here. Yes. I'm here for the Seven Sons, our homebrew D&D actual play live stream. I'm nailing the acronyms recently. I'm really fucking killing these here. Really proud of myself. I am here with, and you know what? I'm not liking the ambient, the fact that we have no ambience going on already. So I'm gonna play something so we can get just a few vibes. You know, let's catch a few vibes real quick if you want. Is that cool with everybody here?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's catch a few vibes.
No crits, only vibes.
All right, there we go. All right, taking it back in. Welcome, friends. My name is Young Foxxii. I am your DM for the evening, your storyteller rather. I'm actually trying out that term recently. I'm liking that term a bit more than the other ones. That's problematic. So I will be your storyteller for the evening. I have with me 4 lovely players who are here with me. And because he's first, I'll mention we don't have Tate joining us today because he's busy on vacation, but we miss him and love him. So be safe out there, Tate. Bye, boy. We miss you. Mwah. But I'd like to pass it over and off to my other players so that they can go ahead and introduce themselves. So please, in the remaining overlay order, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are playing. And you know what? I don't have a question for today, so I'm going to just go ahead and let you guys take over that.
Question is, what should the question be?
Take it away, Michelle, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Also, hi, Purple!
Hello.
Hello.
Yo, Phil.
Hello. All right, it's me, Michelle.
Still don't have the ears.
I'm playing Mitz, our Quaddlefolk wizard of the Order of Scribes, who is, by the way, a she/her today. Please respect the pronouns. We always respect the pronouns.
Pronouns are critical.
You don't find me anywhere, and since we don't have a question today, the question is, what's Mitz going to make for Z today?
Oh gosh. Very good question.
Fair enough. I guess we'll find out then. That's a wonderful question to ask. Lucian, whenever you're ready, my friend, take it away.
Alright. Hi, I'm Lucian. Oh man, the intro. I play our pair of our pair of lizards, one giant, one folk, who both like to fuck shit up and throw things. Almost got it that time.
You got it. It's close. Don't worry, we'll nail
close.
it. By the next arc, we'll have it nailed. Don't worry.
Yep. Ploy's question for today is, now that he's captain, what should he do with the bloat whale?
Good questions. Important questions to be asked.
Alright. Also, before I introduce myself, what is a dragon but just an elemental lizard, okay?
Exactly.
Anyway. Hey guys, it's me, Zor'aa, you know. I will be playing Zenari, or Z, the Kalashtar College of Spirits bard, as per usual. And I feel like her question, like, I don't know why the first thing that came to mind was what's your favorite bug, but we're just gonna go with that. Moving on.
I love that. I love that. I don't know why. I just imagine Z walking up to somebody just like, yo, what's up? What's your favorite bug? Just out of curiosity. It's your favorite bug. Just, you like bugs?
I mean, it's the same energy as tell me about a cool rock you found.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, hey, I'm Dan. I play Mako Sky, the Phantom Rogue, and possess suit of armor, which as we learned in the last session, has a bit more significance than did. And my question is, why?
Well, I guess we'll find out the answer to
why.
What Mitz will make for Z, what Ploy will do with Durga, what Zenari's favorite bug, and the importance of Mako's armor, briefly. But before we do, I want to prepare a quick disclaimer. This adventure of ours contains some decently dark themes occasionally. Our players have signed consent forms to let us all be aware of what lines they can or like to cross or don't want crossed at all. But no such lines have been drawn with you, the audience. Thus, this is your first and only warning. If at any point you feel unsafe or uncomfortable, please feel free to tab out, grab the mute button, or leave, or come back later. We love to have you here. Thank you for stopping in to hang out with us. Having said that, let us go ahead and get ourselves back into the swing of things with an intro scene. Somewhere that seems familiar, despite nothing being recognizable. The scene, a coffee house, busy, yet no one you can identify. There's a crowd of people buzzing about, sitting and talking, a haze of languages, some you know and some you don't, some dead, some that don't exist yet. But amidst all these unidentified figures, amidst this haze of humanity, maybe, a lone table at which 3 figures sit in the only 3 chairs available. Or are there 4? As another suddenly walks and places a seat. The empty space in front of her suddenly has a cup in front of it, filled to the brim with hot, steaming liquid. She gathers, takes a quick sip. Apologies for the lateness. I had an errant thing to attend to. Another, across from her, coughs into his hand. Yes, breaking one of my favorite playthings. Another laughs. Yes, that was certainly fun to watch. The fourth sighs. The woman, I didn't break him, just made him easier to break. The man hurls his cup across the room. It shatters somewhere, and another is in front of him, which he gathers and takes a large gulp from, before smashing down in front of him. It shatters into pieces, which are then gone, replaced by another cup, which he sips from more calmly this time. I am sorry. The woman, I forgive you. The fourth says, stop goading him, Shayada. We're here for a reason. Yes, yes, yes. I understand the rest of you are upset with me. I am sorry to say that time is just not on our side. This little game of ours has to end eventually. We have all seen what happens next. We have all changed what happens next, as much as we can. Some of us, she takes a long sip and looks around, cutting her eye to the fourth, the quieter man. Some of us, too much. And with that, we will take ourselves back to our players. Where we last left off, the party had encountered the Molten Herald, this massive creature made of lava and brimstone, scales of obsidian, leaping into combat and taking it on deftly and with skill and efficacy, and 3 of them almost dying. They managed to fell the beast, Ploy, landing the last javelin down its throat to fell it. In its aftermath, a few important things happened. The first, a notice that our friend Wolf felt dearly compelled to behead this creature they had just slain. Almost an unquenchable urge to do so. And also that his tattoos were glowing, which I don't think any of you have ever seen happen before. The second thing that happened, amidst the haze of combat fading away and a dead beast lying and giving its death throes on the ground, our dear possessed suit of armor noticed a spectral image of flickers of cloth floating away from his armor. And with that, a revelation. Our dear Mako is effectively the last caretaker alive. The caretakers being those who brought supplication and peace to the land through keeping the god beasts at bay for a long time, until they vanished. As they made their way back towards the bloat whale ship, Durga as it were, the severed head in tow, the captain, spotting their approach, flies over and demands to know which of them is responsible for the slaying of this great beast. The party instantly turns themselves over to their lizard folk duo. Ploy takes account for his actions, and the captain kneels and yields command of his ship And I believe we'll resume right there. As the captain comes up from his kneel and says, I can do explaining about this later, but something about ye catches me eye. All of ye, actually. There's a stink of destiny about ye, as it were. Call it a hunch, but... And he kind of pats at a scar right over his forehead. You can see that, like, the scar appears to, like, have missed his eye by, like, just fragments, hairs, and he says, and me hunches tend to be right.
You sure it's not just the smell of our burning stuff? Because, man, that was not fun.
Ah, yes, I did catch
Burning
that too.
feathers.
He says, ah, yes, I had noticed the burning. I assume whatever you found in there did that? He points to the head and just says, that thing, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
You could say it was that.
Well, that answers my first two questions. I only have one more then before I let you all head back. Does he always do that? He points over to Wolf. And as you all look over to Wolf, his tattoos are still glowing, and he is twitching. Just jittering. Like he has every urge to just move.
No.
No, it's not normal.
Wolf, you alright over there? Wolf?
He stops, and you see him physically just like grab his head and shake it. He doesn't speak. He sensed it, like there's something going on in him. He's just like... And maybe it's just the haze of battle wearing off in him. All that adrenaline he pumped through him, just trying to narrow itself in. But he does calm himself. The tattoos don't stop glowing, though.
So you said something about me being captain now?
Aye. He angles back to Durga in the distance, just says, she's yours, if you want to get back to her.
Durga, did you hear that? I'm captain now!
Ploys,
Are you
Captain?
sure this is wise, sir?
The captain just turns and says, like I said, a hunch.
It's the worst that could happen.
Do you want a list?
The captain will turn and
Looks with an
say,
incredulous eye.
the captain will turn back and say, well, there's the head of that beast. Where's the rest of it?
Oh, now that I'm captain, can we bring the rest of it on board?
Aye, captain. And he says,
Yes!
I'll have some men get on that immediately. As your first mate, I have some, business to get back to. You all should get back on the ship. Take a load off if you can. Without waiting for a response, he will just flap his wings. But you'll see that he does have a very, very, like, hard smile on his face as he's, like, flapping his way off. He kind of does a quick spin and then just, like, takes off back towards Durga. And there's a sort of, you know, she's still a decent distance away, but you can definitely see some rustling in the distance as a few figures kind of poke their heads up above deck and mount themselves up on what looked like wyverns, definitely, but they have some bigger packs on their backs, so you sense that maybe there's some kind of rope or knitting equipment or something else to haul this fucking thing. And other than that, you are now free to make your way back to the towards the ship.
Guys, I'm captain.
Yes!
So we
We
heard.
heard.
Also, just to the people that are passing by to pick up what's left of this thing, just be careful. It's probably still really hot.
Yeah, just, like, you know, maybe hope it
Don't
doesn't
burn
catch
yourselves,
fire.
please.
Right, yes. It was pretty hot. Also, if you find that javelin that went down its throat, I would like to have it back. If not, I understand, but...
They offer a salute and say, "Aye, captain," and they take off.
Captain!
I'm never gonna
I've
get
always
used
wanted to
that.
be a captain.
Well, while you're basking in your new captaincy, see the ruins, the ruins!
Ruins! Yes!
Vince is just gonna, like, grab Z by the hand.
Yes.
was like, wait. Do you want to bring Ami along?
Considering that thing just came out of there, I'm a little worried about that. Maybe next ruins. I'm a little nervous about bringing my child in there. Okay.
Ruins.
So,
Fine.
just to make sure to clarify, Mitz and Z, are you two turning back to go to the ruins?
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Mako and Ploy, are you continuing to head in?
I want to go
Mako-
talk to Durga.
Mako wanted to investigate the spot where the herald came from.
Okay. So Ploy, you're heading back to your ship?
Durga!
Alright then, so, here's what we'll do. Ploy, Ploy continues to march. Wolf does go with him. He still has the head of the herald with him. The two of them go ahead and head on back to the ship. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is go ahead and put y'all back on. Oop, that's not what I meant to do. I can fix that. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and put y'all back on the map as soon as I actually get in the Roll20 myself, because I'm not in that yet. Whoops. Professional streamers. So this is gonna happen. Ploy, you're gonna head back to the ship with Wolf, and I'm gonna put the three of you back on the map for where the herald came from, and we're gonna let you guys take some time to investigate the ruins. All right, so let's go ahead and have that happen right now. Boop boop. So let me do some cleanup real quick if y'all don't mind.
It's a dead body.
A little bit of a dead body going on. Yes, that's true.
Do you want to find a body?
A little bit of dead body going on. All right,
Come
so
on,
Wolf's
get
not there,
away.
Ploy's not there, Net's not there. Mako, Mitz, and Net, you three are back here. There are some idle teams of, as I adjust Stream's view to make sure that Stream can then properly see everything. Yeah, make sure that they're looking all right. There are sort of teams of idle, pirates kind of working to kind of get large, thick ropes with, like, in the places where it does touch the body, you see they have kind of, like, clapped some metal around the rope to kind of, like, insulate against the heat, you assume. They're kind of starting to work large ropes around, like, the limbs and, like, the neck and, like, places around the body just to get it prepped to, like, haul with the wyverns, you imagine. You imagine they're not at all going to lift this thing back into the air. They're just going to kind of hook it to the back of the wyvern and just kind of have them, paw it back, gallop their way back to the ship. It's going to be a bit slower than that, but it'll probably be better than trying to, tax them by lifting back into the air. But they are as the three of you approach, they do recognize you as associates of the new captain. You assume the old captain has filled them in. You don't know what to call him now that Ploy's the captain now. You'll have to figure that out when you get back. But as the three of you are here investigating the tavern, the sort of the body as you were, they do kind of make some space to let you all check out what's around and things. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what it is that you would like to see right now. What?
That is a fantastic question.
What are you looking? What's the first thing you're looking around for as you approach? So you see just the large walls of this ruined, desolate place. You get the sense that maybe a very, very, very long time ago, this was a contained building, perhaps a tomb or a ruin or a mausoleum of some kind. But between the wear and tear of time and also whatever the hell this thing might have done to this place, it's just unrecognizable as anything but just like scattered pieces of rubble all in a desert. Indistinguishable ruin amongst, uncountable others.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just invoke my archaeologist background feature.
Let's do it.
Just to get like cursory knowledge. So when you enter a ruin or dungeon, you can correctly ascertain its original purpose and determine its builders, whether those were dwarves, elves, humans, yuan-ti, or some other known race. In addition, you can determine the monetary value of art objects more than a century old.
All right.
Too. Archaeology buddy.
Oh, you guys are both archaeologists. Okay, wonderful. So, here's what we'll do. So, Zanari, you're up here over on the top right. So, you're kind of immediately drawn over towards these walls here. Again, much of this place is pretty hard to recognize, but there's still some decently high walls, about 10 or so, 13 feet. And the first thing you recognize is that there's scrawling on all the linings of these walls here. And it's not even hard for you, given the amount of time you spent peering into the books and the journals here. As you approach this wall and start looking at the writing, it's Sithani. There is no exception. And it's almost like, it's strange in that, it's a sort of proto-Sithani dialect, but the words are so sort of simplistic and formatted with the same basic alphabetical linguistic or sort of pictographic symbols that you can almost sort of just pierce out the concept of the sentences without really having to know their full syntax. And so you approach this wall, start to kind of look around it for a bit, move away some dust, some cobwebs and things. And as you're looking around on this, you start to pierce out some words, gather some things. The first thing you gather is that this wall here is a tale of lineage. It's a sequential tale of sons in a line of individual after individual. It's almost modeled like a story, but it's definitely, you can tell, done in a way where it kind of highlights each person's, their birth, major events they did in their life that were important to this lineage or family, and then they died, and then the next person was born, and it's almost so perfectly structured that you can tell it's definitely funerary in nature. It's a thing where this is kind of done after an individual would die. You assume maybe they would come and add a bit more to this tale before the next person who would be buried here would come and have their story added. But it's definitely done in a very poetic way where it's not just a list of people. It almost seems like it flows together to tell a long going tale of this family, this lineage here. And this family, they're warriors is your first assumption, because a lot of the early tales involve battles, conquests, of overcoming great foes, of slaying, putting to the sword the enemies, and bringing light, bringing the cleansing light of the sword, to the darkness. That's your first inclination, is this is a family of warriors. You get about 5-6 entries as it is into this sort of history, and you start being a little less sure about that, because it gets a lot more metaphoric. You hear about this one individual in the family who swore himself away from the act of warfare, who said he would never raise a sword against another, and you think, well, that's weird. This is a family of warriors. Why would that be recognizable? But it still venerates and glorifies him and says that he brought to light, brought the cleansing flame of retribution upon the usurpers and the unworthy, with his fervent belief, he slayed those who were unworthy of the power they held. It's incredibly venerated. And so eventually you start to think, okay, well, what's the metaphor? What am I gathering at here? What's the central tension here? The central line you find, every individual in this lineage rises against some kind of unfair power. Every instance, this person is born, they encounter something, they decide what's wrong with it, they change it. Every single entry in this family. And by the time you are you're reading all through this, by the time you're done, you feel heat next to you, because you've traveled all the way over next to this fire here. You've gone across the whole line of this wall here before you get to here, and it gets a bit more broken down and destroyed, and you're okay, you kind of snap yourself out of that sort of reader's trance you were in, and you're just okay. And that's kind of the sense you get, is that at your first guess is that the family lineage that you're requiring, this was maybe perhaps a tomb for them at some point, and they have generations of their honored dead were buried here at some point. Where? Well, you can tell that off cuff, because there's no evidence of any catacombs or anything buried here. You think that maybe it just has been shoveled under by sand and time. Mitz, you, on the other hand, you start going for these pillars around here. They start drawing your eye. You start peering around, really getting your hands in, looking around on them. And the first thing you notice is at the top, at the highest point you can reach. And it's hard because you can only really get the tail end of it. But right at the highest point you can reach on this pillar here is a few last sentences that are hard for you to translate at first, but as you start kind of piecing them together, you definitely get the sense that they are pretty much the exact words Lady Temin said to you with the prophecy of the caretakers and the god beasts. it's verbatim the end of that tale, just like word for word. And so that's the first thing. And there's a pause as there's like a line, a sort of art fixture separating this like line of text from another line of text. And the art fixture you can see is a line of individuals. It's a line of people. Each of them is posed. This is going to be really embarrassing to do, but kind of like this almost. One arm out to one side, flared, the other flared out to the other side below them. And as opposed to kind of hands, you see the kind of, almost kind of like their robes flare out into hands, like the robe kind of flares and then splits off into fingers, as it were. But that's really the only discernible feature these figures have. They're just kind of, well, garments with flowing finger hands. There's a line of them in a big circle, around the pillar. And then below that is another tale. Start to pierce through that, start to read through this. And you start to gather that it talks about a meeting, a gathering of the gods. It says that not long after this time of peace ended, after the curators disappeared, not long before this, the gods assembled, they gathered to talk, which is not an uncommon thing for them to do, as the gods are fickle things. But they gathered to speak with one another. And there was anger and fire in some of their hearts. They tirated and railed against one of their own. How dare you? You have treaded too far. You have changed too much, they say. They rail at Amutep. Call him a madman. Call him someone who has usurped his throne, gone too far. They call him the great overthinker, the great plotter, the hider, the secret keeper. There's a break in the tale again. A line. As where you'd expect artwork, another piece of artwork. There's this blankness. Not like it's faded or weathered. Like purposefully, like just a blankness made in this sort of like similar like cylindrical band around the thing like the previous one you saw. The next thing you see, it's a little hard to read, and it's weird because you're pretty good with Sithani. And you go to read, you get a little closer, maybe you rub your eyes a bit, you get a little closer. And then you feel this lancing pain in the side of your head. Sharp, just like a dagger in the side of your head. Not enough to cause you to double over, but it definitely feels like something just hit you inside of your head maybe, but there's nothing there. And you glance back. And it's like every time you look at this, it hurts. Like you can't look at that third tail without it just hurting you. You turn your head away and the headache fades. It's gone. You try to look back and it starts to build again right in that side of your head. You look directly at it, it blares. You stare away. It's gone. And that's what the two of you gather. Mako, what are you doing right now?
Mako is curious about the hole where this giant thing came out of the ground.
So,
because
go ahead,
he is entertaining the possibility that it might have been guarding something, and something might have been treasured. So, using my winged boots, I will fly closer towards the spot where it came out, looking for some kind of cave or opening or weak spot or anything that would suggest any kind of trove or treasure or anything of significance in the vicinity of where it emerged. Because I don't know how stable the ground is going to be. That's why I'm using the wing boots.
You take flight with your wing boots, kind of hopping a bit to give yourself a nice kind of elevated parabola down into like the deepest part of this hole. And as you do so, you float down. You approach the bottom, and as you're kind of looking at like the side here, like when you land maybe about here, give me a second to kind of like grab your token for a second if you don't mind. You land about here-ish maybe. Start to kind of like slide down a little bit. Not too bad. It's like you're falling, but it's just a slight little angled slide. And under your feet, it feels solid, like nice packed in dirt, like maybe, like, your first impression would be this thing just burrowed this thing down as, like, a place to sleep or rest. You can even feel, like, at some of the higher layers, it looks like it's not just maybe, like, dirt, but, like, almost stone. Like, it maybe dug in and then breathed some lava out to kind of, like, harden some of the like, the room around this thing. But as you slide down to this sort of deep core here, the ground gets shifty. And you know, it kind of trip a little bit over your feet. Your wing boots kind of flapping a bit. And as you do, you kick up some dirt. And something rolls out. It's about twice the size of your hand. Ovoid in shape. Looks like stone.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Ovoid in shape gives me a bad feeling about what this might be.
You can pick it up if you want to.
Let's pick it up.
It's an egg.
Of course it is.
You pick it up. And, well, you're first just like, it's some kind of decorated stone, maybe. But you pick it up, and you feel heat, just warmth baking from the core of this thing. And it's not constant. It's pulsing. And when you pick it up, almost a second and a half after, it speeds up a bit. Boom, 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 boom.
I immediately go find Zanari and Mitz, because if anyone is going to have any idea what to do with this, it's probably them, and Ploy is too far away. Because he legit might have an idea of what to do, because he's the beast guy, but he's on his ship.
I will save time on having
Where's
you
like, keep it.
Players on the ship.
He's a
It
player
goes-
now.
Something calls to me.
I'm
I
sorry.
sense something in the air.
Okay, so
And
I
tamed the beast.
to save time, I won't have you roll to climb out of the pit or anything, but you shamble on out of the pit. This thing kind of tucked under you like a football. You shamble your way up out of the pit to about here. And how do you alert your two compatriots?
I kind of want to shout, but
What do you do?
I don't know if I look over and find Zanari, and then fly over to her and be like, hey,
Hi, what's up?
I found something, and
Okay.
I'm not sure what it means or what we should do with it.
Okay,
That
we can
giant
probably
monster
figure-
that we just fought, it was sitting on top of this, and I hold up the egg.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh. Okay. I suppose that
So-
makes a lot of sense why it was fighting so much now.
so yeah, my first thought is we should take it to Lady Temin. She'd probably know better than anyone, like, what to do with it.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, if you or Mitz have any thoughts, that'd be the time. I'm sure Ploy will have thoughts, but I can guess what his thoughts are.
That's fair. Okay. How do I roll for lava monster husbandry?
I guess just if she recognizes there's any risk to keeping the egg.
Is that what you're going for?
I mean, Mitz
Whether
is
or not
currently
there's a risk
over
to
by the
keeping it.
pillar. Mitz doesn't even
I
know this
know.
is happening.
So this is a creature you have never experienced before outside of your brief talk about the god beast.
Yep.
You have no fucking clue.
Okay.
Mitz is currently dealing
I
with a giant
Lava
egg
monster
staring
husbandry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm staring at a pillar, so I'm sorry, but Mitz can't help you right now either.
Listen, you would
Look,
get
it's
more
a-
of this if I played a zoologist.
I'm
It's a
certain.
giant legendary creature. These two know legends. It seemed like the best route.
It's like,
Sure.
okay, like, it was called the Herald. Like, do I know anything? Like, anything at all.
So, the god beasts have that name for a reason. They might be creatures of ungodly eldritch power, but they're still beasts. And beasts reproduce and have, you know, genuses and families and kingdoms and sometimes whole ecosystems under them. So, you get the sense that this creature, this thing, probably spawned, either by normal or supernatural means, as some sort of spawn being of the god beast, which it either cultivated as a way to keep itself like safe or guarded, or naturally cultivated around it because the environment it created naturally made it safe for them. And so the only conclusion you draw naturally is out of your thoughts is if these things grew as a result of the god beasts and are most comfortable around them or in environments near them, how the hell did this one get here? You don't see any god beasts nearby. Doesn't even really seem hot enough. In fact, y'all are pretty certain that this thing was pretty much artificially heating up its environment to keep itself comfortable, as it now feels a little bit more comfortable around here as opposed to what it did earlier.
It still has a headache over by the pillar. Does anybody want to say hi to Mitz?
This is like, hey, anybody want to... Hello?
Yes, we must show Mitz the baby. I agree.
I'll go ask.
Mitz, look, baby!
Still think we should report this to Lady Tim.
Mhm.
Let me go ask Mitz. See if
Yeah.
she knows anything.
I think that would be a good idea.
So you slide on over to Mitz, who is kind of, maybe glancing over from a bit of a headache. And Mitz, you see your two friends come on over, and yeah, how do you... your party fills you in, and then eventually holds out this ovoid figure, which you haven't grabbed it yet, have you, Mitz?
Mitz is thinking is like has the hands out ready to, but like is like also kind of like wait, divinity, god beast, like is like has the hands up almost ready to catch it, but like isn't quite touching it, is like, and like is almost ready to like pull her hands away. And it's like, wait, actually, I don't like. I'm not sure about my relation to.
So you hold you hold your hand out while someone else is holding it.
Yeah.
The closer her hand gets, the hotter it gets. Like to the point where like when she's hovering like a foot or two away from it, like. Mako, you don't even have, like, skin or anything, but, like, you're pretty certain this might start causing some, like, glancing and, like, minimal damage to your hands at this point, if she doesn't, like, pull her hand back some.
Ow, 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 ow. Hot.
What?
Wait. So, Mako notices, as soon as she pulls her hand back, that
it gets less
it
hot.
Stops getting hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It goes back to that regular old warmth you were feeling when you were first holding it.
Yeah. So, wait. Put your hand out.
Gets hotter. Gets hotter. Gets colder. Gets hotter, hotter, hotter. Cold, little cooler. Warmer. Cooler. I have to clip that now. God damn it.
Whatever this thing is, it seems like it's may not like you, or maybe it does. I don't know how it reacts to heat. It was under a giant lava monster.
Well, I hope this means that the lava monster attacking us was my fault. Shit. Can Mitz like kind of like poke at it with her mystical senses? Just like.
Sure.
Someone else want to hold it while she does that?
Like, you'll be fine. You're made out of armor. The only thing you have to worry about is your hands turning to slag.
So, Mitz, you reach out
That's
a little
a
bit.
big thing to worry about.
He's got a point. So, Mitz, you reach out a bit with your divine sense. Not physically moving your hands closer, just reaching out. The first thing you feel is like, it's not just you reaching out. That circlet on your head is kind of resonating just the tiniest bit, just a little bit. And you reach out and you feel a presence inside this thing. Young, fiery, angry, like it's just waiting for when it's ready to get out of there, just bursting with this youthful exuberance. But as you reach out and just the barest tendrils of your consciousness touch it, it rages at you. Just rips and roars and snaps at you until you break that link.
Well, doesn't seem to like me. That's not great. It's like, cause it's like Mitz is like not, I guess, happy about the fact that like tiny baby child just immediately doesn't like her immediately, and she's just a little sad, kind of a little bit dejected right now. Actually, it's like, whatever beast child is in here is, well, frankly, greatly opposed to whatever energy that I have, which is divinity, so...
That bodes well. I still think we should take it to Lady Temin. What do you guys think?
Maybe we should bring this to Ploy first? I mean, he is the expert on, well, beasts.
He is. I was gonna go get him next, but he's not exactly around right now.
I don't know. Z, do you have any ideas? Because I don't think I can get anywhere close to this child without it wanting to, well, maul me, for a better word.
I mean, I can try. I've never tried to mind link with something that wasn't, you know, human. But I could try.
So is that what you're trying to do right now?
Yeah, I'll try to Kalashtar mind link with this thing and see if I get the same results.
No. You link with it. It's not enough of an intelligence to, like, get any, like, serious thoughts other than just, like, concepts from it, but similar to the way I described it first for Mitz, it's just warm, fiery, a little angry, but not angry in terms of, like, primal anger, just, like, I want out anger, you know?
Oh, so it's, like, actually just like a baby bird, because they're very much like that. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I'll just send it, like, a cute little, like, mental image of, like, a nest or something.
Aww. Yeah, it settles a little bit. You kind of, like, lets it, like, kind of rest just a tiny little bit. Like, and Mako, you kind of feel like that, like, the warmth in your hand does recede just a little bit more. It's still kind of pulsing, but the pulse kind of slows down a little bit. And it's kind of just mellowing out. Almost to a forgettable level at this point.
Nice.
Mitz is a little sad that this baby child is instinctively opposed to her.
Same.
Sometimes kids are like that.
They suck sometimes,
Brat is
you know?
what it is.
Whatever you did seems to be doing the trick. I guess I'll go take this to Ploy and see what he thinks. The main thing is whether or not it's safe to carry on the ship with us. I'd have to fight another one of those things in the sky this time.
I mean, it would be a baby.
True.
Now that Z is nearby, actually, Mitz is going to just, like, okay, so, see these pillars over here? The top, as far as I can tell, I think is the prophecy. The secondary part is, like, a meeting with the gods. Apparently, I think they were incredibly angry with Amutep, as far as I know. Something about him changing too much?
Hmm.
But the third part, The third part I can't read. It just gives me like this. Ugh, gives me a freaking migraine every time, and I have an idea as to why. But I don't know, dude. Just maybe like take a glance and like I can't keep looking at this. It's gonna give me a headache. But like if you could like maybe take a glance and see if you have any better luck than I do.
Do you do
Like,
so, Zanari?
Turn her back to the
Let
pillar.
me see if I have a thing to help with that before I look at it. Tell you what, yeah, just for funsies, I am going to cast heroism on myself.
Okay.
Before looking at it.
Okay. So you fill yourself with the spirit of bravery and heroism to bolster your resolve before you look. And then you glance down at this third story, separated by that barrier. And you see, and give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Excuse me for just one moment. Apologies, contractor work. Okay, got it. Sorry about that. So, you look down, and as you see below this like last sort of black bar is sketching our sort of separation, rather than a story, there's an image. A figure. It's nebulous and hard to see, but splintering off from it, you can see pieces, shards, fragments, but a small core remaining in the middle. And that's all there is. You don't feel anything as you look at this. It's like a writing to you.
I did see, I don't know how much that helps. I'm just turning back around. A bunch of pieces and then a core in the middle. There isn't like any names or anything associated, so I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Well, that blows my idea out of the water.
Do we like how many pieces?
It's a little hard to tell abstractly, but you can definitely easily count at least a couple dozen.
Okay.
Anything else?
And then Amutep was the god that we know is missing, right? Okay.
It's been mistaken for Amutep before.
Anything else y'all want to do in this scene here?
I think I was already heading back to the ship.
All right.
Got an egg to shove in my lizard friend's face.
The rest of you? All right.
Yeah, just gonna be doing a big think.
Doing a big thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, at least my hypothesis has been disproven then. Perhaps.
All right. Let me start prepping the proper situation for y'all. So, you start making your way. I'm just gonna put y'all back on the good old travel map for the sake of not having to busy myself with too much nonsense. So, you start making your way back towards the ship. The trek is long and done mostly in silence, but just behind you, eventually you do see the large figures of wyverns just behind you as they are hauling the body of this huge thing. And they're behind you for a bit, but they pretty quickly catch up to you. And one of the pirates leans down and just says, "Offer you a ride?" And yeah, they're definitely moving a little bit faster than y'all are moving. So,
What do you think, Z? Shall we go?
Yeah.
All right.
all right. So you start making your movements towards back towards Durga aboard the bloat whale, or sorry, aboard on top of the wyverns. You're making your way, and as you're walking or as you're traveling, you notice the pirates are kind of almost giggling. to themselves, just like, just kind of having a quick little laugh between themselves, like there's something really funny going on. One of them cuts his eyes over to you, Zanari, and then cuts back to the others, and they all just start laughing, start giggling a little bit.
I vibe check.
You absolutely can.
Okay.
It's like, why are they? It's like giving them a look, and it's kind of like just.
That's 7. Oh,
It's just gonna like.
Continue.
I mean, as far as you can tell, they might just think you look funny.
Well.
But
Mitz is also gonna vibe check.
I'll be a bit more fair to Zanari because I think that's a bit better role than just like But in the you do, as you look at them, get the sense that like they're not necessarily laughing at you. Like it's not like anything about you they're like looking at and laughing. But whatever thing they're laughing at, it's at least related to you in some kind of way. Like almost like. Perhaps the fact that you don't know is what might be part of the joke.
Right? Like, do I have all my clothes on?
Yes,
like, what's happening?
You are
here?
fully
Okay.
like you look at yourself and you don't like other than like you're
a sign on her back that says "kick me."
No, I mean y'all all look a bit disheveled because horrible fucking fight. But like, I mean, and like you think like maybe it's that honestly with the 7. Like you think maybe it's that like maybe they're just like laughing at you. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Honestly, like. You look up and like Mitz, you look at them, you look around at your compatriots, Zanara, you look around at your compatriots and like, you guys all look just like your burnt, disheveled state, and you're just like they're laughing at that. Obviously, it's probably just that. That's your first assumption.
I hope so.
I mean, Mitz is like, okay, did Ami do something really strange? But otherwise, is like going to is gonna be like, okay, either Ami did something and they're laughing at that. Or they're laughing at us for our disheveled state, or Z for her disheveled state, and then get promptly a little bit annoyed at that fact, and kind of like just like push Z behind her with just like feathers flared, and is like, okay, why are you laughing?
One of them cuts and just says, "You'll see when you get there. Your little one's a treat."
Oh, okay. It's like doom and gloom face just immediately goes away. It's like, okay, it's Ami.
Oh no, what did she do?
And as you're riding on these wyverns, you get closer. You can see the imposing figure of Durga coming from a resting position behind a hill. And as you're approaching, you start to hear some sounds in the distance. Just distantly. And you're like, what in the world could that possibly be? But as you get closer, and the wyverns eventually do take flight, hefting the large bulk of the herald up into the air, coming up to above the deck and bringing to themselves towards the flight deck to land, you eventually do find yourselves back on Durga, and you are greeted by, well, for lack of anything else better to say, music. There is just this loud, boisterous music going on around you. And as you're looking up at this top deck here, a lot of the crew, a lot of the pirates, Janaka and Sathani, in fact, a lot of even some of the slaves who stayed with you guys, they're just having a great fucking time. Just laughing around, goofing, dancing. And excuse me for 1 minute while I really turn the vibes up, if you excuse me. Yeah, so like they're having a great fucking time, just like laughing and goofing off, and you see people just having around. Like some of them they've brought up some like crates from the back that are full of like you assume wine and bottles, and there are not glasses going around. There are bottles going around. Like pirates have whole bottles. They are pouring it down their own throats. They are pouring it down their friends' throats. They are double fisting them and pouring them down other people's throats. It's just it's a fucking celebration, okay? They're having a great fucking time. And what you notice almost the most distinctly as you circle in, and let me actually go ahead and put you guys on the proper map for this little setup here. I'm sorry, I have to do so many things at one time because I'm stream managing and also GMing and So.
Oh, don't worry, I feel.
Free when you need them.
Right? So you move yourselves on over here. Let me make sure you get on the proper map. Let me make sure stream has the right view of that map. Okay, alright, perfect. This is fine, everything's fine. Here you go. So you're on the ship, music is playing, and you look around because you're looking for, well, first as first, as you look around you see Ploy. Ploy, what are you doing right now?
Welcome aboard the party whale, guys. The name's Captain Ploy.
And as he says that, a group of pirates just pick him up and just, Captain Ploy! Start hefting him and throwing him in the air a little bit.
So this is what can go wrong.
I told you. It was on the list.
Why is he the captain? Z, you're our one brain cell. Why? Why did you let him do this?
I am not the one that should be captain here. I have no idea what we're doing.
Want me to go get him?
Oh no. Okay,
Sweet
where
rolls
is
and
my
booze
daughter?
for everybody.
What's going on?
Well, you go to hop down to go check on your boy Ploy, because you're wondering what's up with him. And as you're sliding off the wyvern, you look over, and you see, well, the now first mate, who was once the captain, is in the middle of a circle of his fellow associates. They are all clapping and cheering along, just having just the dandiest time of their lives. And as you're looking around, give me just a moment, and I have to get some, here we go. I got that actually. So, as you're looking around, you notice in the center of that crowd is the captain and another figure, definitely shorter than all the rest. And you're almost not certain who it is at first because the dress isn't recognizable, as rather than their standard beige dress you've typically seen them dressed in, or the nicer dress they were wearing when they joined you guys back at Boone, Ami is dressed in this fine gown, just the most exquisite looking silk with just gold and purples and pinks layered all around it. There are tassels at the end of her wrist that flare, and a large frilled skirt that goes down and moves in these bright, colorful circles as she spins around. It's almost like layered so that you can only kind of see like a pale kind of blue on the outside, but whenever she spins, you can see just like purple and pink just flare out from these layers under it. And her and the captain are in the middle of this circle, just having the time of their lives. They are moving in this rhythmic pattern back and forth. For a while, the first mate has Ami's hands, holding them back and forth as she kind of like shimmies back and forth. Occasionally he draws her into a spin and she whirls around and like kind of giggles a bit. And then she kind of just keeps, moving back and forth with the captain. Eventually starts kind of separating away from her, doing this very kind of elaborate move where he like kind of steps away from her, like very obviously gives her the attention. And Ami just takes center stage, just spinning in elaborate circles, dancing with this rhythm and moving, occasionally stopping to throw her hands about at the crowd at one point. And whenever she throws one hand, whoever she throws the hand at in the crowd, they just yell and whoop and cheer. And she throws her hand somewhere else, and everyone else yells and whoops and cheers, and she just keeps moving in circles. The captain is like around her, moving in circles, like fanning, like there's like heat coming off of her, just like fanning her in circles. And it's just, everyone is having a great time. Like, there are, you almost aren't sure where they're coming from, but as you like, there's like kind of small bits of white in the air. As you look, there are people in the crowd who have very small bowls of rice, and they're kind of just flinging them around her, just like not directly at her, obviously, but just out of around her a bit. And she's just loving this, just the brightest, whitest, eyes closed smile on her face as she dances in this circle. The first mate eventually just fully pulling back into the crowd and just letting her have center stage entirely to herself. Just dancing and living in this moment entirely by herself, as whatever pirate is behind who has the drums going, he is just like really picking it up now. Like, he's now coming to the circle next to her, and he's like drumming very fast, and she's like circling around him. And it's not unorganized. The circling she does seems to almost correspond with the beat he's playing. It's almost like she knows this song, in fact. And this is the scene you all originally come across. And as the first mate backs off from the crowd, takes a bottle of wine, pops a cork, and just downs a nice gulp of it, chucks it off to somebody else, he looks over and just sees you all, just waves you on over, if you want to come over.
Sure.
And yeah, we'll go ahead and
Okay,
stop that and swip on back over to the old party dance music. And so yeah, you come over, Zanari and Z, and Mako, what are you up to? What are you gonna do?
I go with them because I don't know if I want to talk to Boy
Fair enough.
quite yet.
So the three of
Mitch is
you.
gonna stand like a good foot, like at least a meter away from wherever Mako is, and it's just like dejected at the same time. It's like,
Aw.
Oh.
But so yeah, you approach towards the first mate, and he is, well, he's let's be honest, he's gone. Like, you don't even have to talk to him to notice that. Like, as you're approaching, he sways a bit too hard to the right and like tips over. A pirate catches him, shoves him over. He tips over the other way. Someone else catches him, shoves him back. He like flaps his wings and like takes to the sky a bit. Flicks around a bit lazily, just like, I'm good. Lands back
sure you're
down.
good?
Comes back down. He's like, I got it, not a problem. As you two approach, the three of you approach, Ami, who is still in the middle of the circle, ends a spin and opens her eyes a bit and sees the three of you, and her eyes just light up, and she just takes off running and leaps into your arms, Inari.
Oh, yeah. Obviously I hug her back.
And in your mind, you just hear, Mom, you're back!
I'm back, and that was incredible. Where did you learn to dance like that?
She just says, well, I don't know. And she looks up and says, are you hurt? Excuse me, sorry. The cough didn't happen.
A little bit, nothing I can't fix.
She slaps both of her hands on you. You see her look very, very hard at you. And almost in a moment, all the wounds on you start to close. She says, don't worry, Mama took care of him. And she
Oh.
lets go.
Yeah, she always looks out for the two of us, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're back. Do you know why all the festivities are happening? Is there like a holiday or something, or are we just having a good time?
Well, I was in my bed, and I was trying to do I was trying to just find something to do with my doll, and then the captain came in and started saying some stuff about how he wasn't the captain anymore, cause your lizard friend was the captain now, and then all the pirates got really, really loud and started drinking a bunch.
Okay, so this is okay. I understand now. This is the occasion. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, I'll leave you to it, I guess, if you still want to keep dancing. I trust everybody here.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk to Boy about something that we found, or what Mako found. So we'll be back, probably in like 15 minutes or so.
She says, okay. She hops on down. She does look over at you, and just give you like a really, really high, like hard, emphatic wave. And also at you,
gonna be
Mako,
like
just
my
like a
favorite
really hard,
piece.
emphatic wave at the two of you.
My favorite piece. Mitz looks a lot less dejected. Is actually kind of just like, poof.
And then she just kind of
This
shoots over.
child likes you.
She just shoots over, gives you a quick little hug over the leg.
You are the best, Ami, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
And then she just lets go and just takes over back off into the circle. And as soon as she gets back in the middle, the crowd just pipes right back up, and the drum guy picks it back up again, and she just gets right back to her dancing. And she's just, again, just having the time of her life. Meanwhile, Ploy's over there with the rest of the pirates. They're apparently playing some kind of drinking game. The rules don't seem to make a lot of sense. They're kind of just staring at each other really hard. And every now and then, one of them just goes, ah, drink! And they all drink, and then they do it again. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but they're having a good fucking time. And this is the scene that you all approached Ploy with. So, Ploy, you see your friends who just got back from going back to the ruins.
Guys, call me Captain Ploy.
I refuse.
Oh, but I'm captain now.
Yeah, but you reply to us first.
So is this a bad time?
Not really. I can, guys. You guys keep playing Party Whale. But I gotta talk to my friends. What's
Yeah.
going on?
2 words. Monster egg.
Where? Let me see.
Maybe it'll like you more than it likes me.
I
Oh
am
yeah,
going.
it hates Miz.
That is funny. I'm
Yeah.
gonna immediately.
Here, watch. Here, you hold it. Well, you hold it. Miz, put your hand out.
Wait, I'm gonna immediately cast Beast Sense as I put my hand on the egg.
Your hand burns.
Maybe it doesn't like me either.
Or it's just very hot because it's a lava monster.
That's also possible.
I mean, who's holding it right now besides Ploy?
I mean, Mitz is standing like a meter or two away.
Or Mako, are you still holding it?
I thought I handed it off to Ploy, but
Oh, well-
if it burns his hands, then...
I mean, if you like, it's the same thing. As Ploy gets closer, it feels hotter. In fact, it's kind of more intense than it was for Mitz.
Likes Ploy more than it dislikes me. That's you know,
That's
also
understandable.
Hey now. That's not fair.
He's the captain now. You can't talk to him that way.
I'm the captain.
Like, is this because I
Captain,
sprayed his?
no.
Is this just because I sprayed his mom, dad with like lots of water? I wonder how it feels about Wolf.
Speaking of
I'll
which,
have to
That's
ask
a
him
good
next time we see him.
where is Wolf?
We would have taken him with us. We wouldn't have just left.
Oh no,
him.
he went back with Ploy.
He's...
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not around. Like, you're looking around the party, scoping out the top deck. Not there.
Also, by the way, what happened when I tried casting Beast Sense on the egg?
Like, it just rejected you. Like,
Okay.
it linked to you, but similar to what I described for Mitz, you just felt like that raging. The difference is, where it raged until Mitz severed, it raged and then severed. Like, it pushed you out.
Okay. Well, gonna be honest, not really sure what to do about this.
And it is, as you say that, you feel like wind that isn't real rustle by you, Ploy. Like, insanely fast wind just gust by your face. Almost blow you so hard that your eyes close for a second. That was horrible phrasing. Holy fuck. Holy shit. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, god damn it. Okay. Fuck. Alright, so... And as you... none of you really feel... None of you don't feel this wind at all, but Ploy, you feel this as your perception of reality is snapped away, and suddenly, you feel yourself drawn into a link.
Oh?
Legend of Zelda intensifies.
A voice, ancient but familiar, enters your head and says, I think I may know what to do with this. It's Durga.
Durga. Oh, I forgot to ask you. How do you? I'm captain now. Is that okay with? Is that okay with you? Do you mind?
Ploy, you are so much more than captain.
More than I don't know. What comes after captain?
Admiral, I think.
That jovial spirit, that free heart of yours. I suppose the time for veils and secrecy must end eventually, yes?
I suppose so. It's always better to know.
I have known of you for a while, friend. Many of us know of you. The Hunt Master.
Yeah, somebody gave me that name earlier. I still don't really quite get what that means.
Everyone has their place in fate, little one. The gods are fickle, changing and rewriting the end for each of us at any given whim. What results out of that mess is the line we follow until our deaths. But for some of us, that line is speckled and golden, destined. You are special, my friend. That conviction of yours, that free heart, that link with the great beasts, it is essential for what comes next. You and those you rally to your cause, you will bring down a god.
Yeah, I've heard that. One of my friends is called the God Killer. Seems a bit far-fetched to me.
Ploy, are you not a hunter, silly one?
Of course.
Then what is the kill if not the end of a great hunt?
You know, that is a fair point. That is a very fair point.
Your furred friend is to end the life of a god beast, to reset the balance in a way that will see this world changed, such as even I haven't seen before. But you will lead the hunt. Your cunning, your prowess, your bond with the beasts of the wild will be necessary to fell this great beast. I cannot tell you which of the great beasts you must fell, but I can tell you that you must be there when it happens. You must lead that glorious hunt.
That sounds like fun.
I thought you'd say as much. There is more, I'm afraid.
Always more.
Your strand of fate, as it were, is not solitary. Others with far more power than you and I have seen it twisted and tangled up in the strands of others, those you find yourself in present company with. All of your fates are intertwined in a way I don't believe I have a mind strong enough to understand. But I sense, as with all things, this will be unraveled in time. What I do know is forces larger than either of us are conspiring. They have conspired or will conspire, maybe. Chronology is a fickle concept for beings as powerful as they. Regardless, a conflict is coming. Your friends will have to make difficult choices going forward. I pray for all of our sake they make the right ones.
Yeah, me too.
Have you ever wondered why you can do this?
You know, I don't think I have.
Ploy. If you'll allow me just a moment, let me expand your horizons.
Please do.
There is a grasping feeling in your mind, and then a million pinpricks, small bits here and there, presences, some larger than others, some older than others. This information fills your head for a brief moment before it resolves, and you are feeling every beast in Zor'aa, every Yabak roaming the dunes, every Sorrelisk in the rivers, every beetle hiding, every beast in the sky. You feel them, all of them, and they feel you, and they greet you. And then you are pulled away from that. Durga speaks again and says, "That is all you are ready to know for now, but you will grow in so much power. The gods have seen it.
How do I do that? I want to do it again. I want to do it again.
In time, little one.
Oh.
But for now, you've a party to return to, yes?
Oh, what about the egg? Why does the egg hate me so much? How do I get it to not hate me?
You are the hunt master, bane of the god beasts themselves. It is prophesied that you will slay or be part of the slaying of the greatest among their number. That thing is destined to hate you.
Ah.
Only one tied to destiny itself can see that changed.
That's fair.
Your questions will have answers in time, friend. I don't want you to overload your head for a bit. Enjoy the party. I'm quite liking the music.
I'll have them keep it up.
Thank you. You be safe now, Captain.
You too. Bye, Durga.
And with a wash of that same invisible wind, you feel your cell receptions separate, and the music, and sort of you feel the music and the sounds of the party resume themselves around you. And the rest of you kind of notice Ploy maybe space out for the briefest of seconds, but it doesn't last very long. It's almost just a fraction before he just kind of blinks and is there again.
You're right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
just having a chat with Durga. So I think we should have a chat with Lady Temin before I decide to turn that egg into an omelet.
I don't know about the second part of that, but I concur. We should bring it to Lady Temin.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Now, since you are the captain, as much as I hate to say that out loud, do you think it is safe to transport the egg on this ship?
Well, according to Durga, the egg is destined to hate me, and I'm pretty sure all of us. I think especially me and Wolf. But all of us, unless somebody tied to destiny, something along those lines, does something. So, Lady Temin maybe.
I mean, I did mind Link with it. It didn't seem to outright want to kill me. Like, he
So maybe-
very
It's
tentatively
not
reaches
going
out.
supernova in my hands either.
Yeah, so one of the two of us could probably hold it. Like, I just kind of
Yeah.
reach out towards it. Does it do the same thing?
Does not get hotter as you grab
Okay.
grab out for it. Nope.
In that case, why don't you hold on to the egg for now?
I mean, I can't Mako. You're always free to do it too.
Hey, now the correct answer is aye, Captain.
Again, this was on the list.
Uh-huh. Sure.
That's what we in the
Come on,
business
guys,
call
let me have my fun.
callback.
I'm Captain now.
Fine, Captain.
I'm Captain.
Yes.
I'm sure Mako will
sorry.
refuse.
Anyway, you can probably take better care of this than I can, Zanari. But I am curious about one thing. How do you think it would react to Ami?
I'm not sure. Because I'm not sure. Considering just her relation with Chara.
Ami, we
Just-
have a new friend.
Oh,
Come over and
God.
look.
Oh no.
She cannot hear you over the
Yeah,
Paul
Ami, do you
Paul
want a
dancing
pet?
music.
Oh.
The god beast being related to the gods, I don't know if it would be really an issue. Not sure.
There's no harm in trying.
Well, in any case,
As
I
long as
think
she
you're best
doesn't
suited
actually
to
touch
look
the
after
egg.
this. for now.
There could be. She points at your burn hand. There could be harm in it. So as long as she, doesn't touch it, okay.
And so you guys start moving towards Ami with the egg. And she notices you and comes to walk over. It's a little unsure. Looks over you and Mother just, what's up?
So, you know how we found something in the ruins, and I guess she's holding the egg now. I guess he's holding the egg now. I don't know.
Mhm.
We found this, and we know it's an egg, and we know that it has a young of what we fought down in those ruins. It seems to be reacting to each of us differently. Would you mind just holding your hand out towards it? Please don't touch it yet.
She quirks her head, says, okay. And she holds up a hand, stops. Mama says don't.
Okay, then definitely don't.
And she kind
Don't.
of pulls her hand back away.
Don't touch it then. I trust your mother. Okay. So that's our answer.
I
Gang.
take it that didn't go well.
No.
Okay.
Divine intervention, you would say.
Yeah, the wife knows best
Okay.
in this
Well,
case.
Happy wife, happy life. or death, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, the last thing you want to do is undermine the other parent's authority in front of your child.
I mean,
That just
especially when they're a
can't
god,
send
you
a
know.
good message.
That could have
Yeah.
like, serious consequences.
Oh. Well. Anyway.
So,
Where's Wolf? Ploy, you were the last to see him. Do you know what happened to him?
You saw him go
last I
below
saw,
deck.
He was resting. Yeah. I don't know. I'm assuming he's still there.
I guess we'll leave him be.
Shall we head to the my quarters and give Lady Temin a call?
Should
Yeah.
Wolf be there?
So, can I assume you
mean,
guys are
if he's
having this talk
having
as you're moving below deck, just to make that easier for myself?
Yeah.
yeah.
And he'll turn back to Ami and say, "Well, thank you for helping us out here. Feel free to keep dancing. It's so much fun. Have so much fun, sweetie."
And she just kind of just waves you off and just takes off. Kind of just like at this point she's not like in the circle now. She's kind of just dancing around, just having a great time, and everyone sees her kind of just like lets her have her fun, gives her space, But yeah. Anything. So that's it for you guys. We're gonna head below deck. So let's go ahead and see if I can do the cool.
Who has the shell?
Isn't it?
Yeah. Who has the shell
it you?
phone?
Isn't the answer to that always the?
It's always,
Is it a-
I
Is it-
Ami.
couldn't remember if we
Wait.
handed it off to Joshua or somebody.
Wait, we did hand it
Oh,
off to
yes.
Josh.
Oh!
Yeah, but I had an idea. I
Mhm.
had an idea.
Uh-oh.
So if Mako calls on the shell phone from within the armor, is there gonna be a reverb?
Yes.
I love this greatly. That's all. That was the only idea I had.
You're welcome. Yeah. So, as you move below deck, off to the left, in the sort of bunking rooms, you don't see anything immediately because mostly you mentioned everybody's probably above deck having a great time. There's plenty of people over here on the right, just like having meals, having a good time. It's mostly quiet and dark over in here. There's a faint bluish light coming from one of the corners, though. And as you enter the door, if any of you wants to roll a stealth check to open the door quietly, now's your time to do so.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So what? I'm gonna say.
Always down
Hold up.
for stealth checks.
I was gonna specify. All right. I was gonna specify only one of you could do it,
Oh,
but everybody
well.
just fucking rolled.
I'll just
Everybody
go.
just fucking went for it.
Sure did.
Listen, we're all nosy, okay?
Welcome to be the. All right, so I guess
Maybe
we'll.
let the
We want
rogue
to
roll
drop the
stealth.
eaves.
All right, we'll take Mako's roll. So Mako, you open the door and it's pretty quiet, and you open. So Mako, as you open the door, you can definitely immediately recognize that sort of weird watery running effect of your shell being active, obviously. And off in the corner, you see the only person you would assume to be using the shell, Joshua. And there's a face distinctly in the shell. It's kind of in front of him, so you can't really see who it is, but he's definitely leaned over and whispering, talking to the shell, and hasn't noticed you
I can't
walk
hear
in.
you.
Oh, wait, did it happen? Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
And I'm sure everyone else can hear you. It's just something's up with my computer.
Internet. Oh yeah. So you slide in and like he's kind of just like leaned over talking to the shell. You can't really see who's in it, but he's whispering at it. Nobody has noticed you. The next person to walk in is Mitz, right behind. By the time you walk in, Mitz, the voice in the shell is now responding again, whispered enough that you can't really make out context. You guys are slowly approaching. As you enter Ploy, you're almost like not on top of him, but like maybe a good like 5 or so feet behind him, within earshot at this point. Definitely the three of you, and you can hear just a whispered conversation. Joshua, you can hear his voice just say, "Soon, I promise. I have to make sure these people are all right here first." And then she voice whispers back and just says, "You're always so stubbornly concerned about everybody around you except yourself. It's going to get you killed. I don't want that." He just says, "Nicest thing you've said in a while." She just says, "Don't get used to it." And at this point, that Zanari, you kind of like try to join the pack, and as you hit that last floor panel behind the group, it just he just wheels around, and he just and you can now they turn around and see that it's clearly Joshua, and he looks just like a mixture of mortified and murderous. And the face in the shell is distinctly Nakali's, and she looks a little embarrassed. And you just see the call end, and he's just like, "You all are back on time."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, were we interrupting?
Yes, I was reporting in, doing important logistical things. He just kind of presses up and says, "You all might be members of this resistance, but understand that I'm second in command. I have important second in command orders that I have to take from my commander that you all are not allowed to be privy to."
And I'm captain of this ship.
Well,
He's not lying.
Taking orders from your commander aside, we also need to report in.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever.
So, we need the shell.
He throws the shell. You just whatever. All right, fine. I'm gonna eat some food.
Have a nice meal.
We'll give it back to you later if you want to take more commands from your commander.
Do you have guts? I will gut you.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He really doesn't.
Are you certain?
We're
we can
kind
try
of
to
stuck
find
with
out.
him. It's the best and the worst.
Have you seen him put his phone away?
Stupid. First her, now you idiots. Always bothering me. Whatever. He just storms off.
Sorry, Joshua.
I hate you.
You too.
Much fun to
Anyway,
And then
tease.
he picks his back head and says, "Sorry, I hate you, Captain." And he picks his back away.
At least you
okay,
called
so
it Cap.
my Discord is acting up again. So literally, when you were RPing all the stuff that Joshua was just saying at us, I could just hear static.
Oh no, that sucks.
It was censored. Whatever.
No, it's
Redacted.
It's redacted. No, don't bring me back. Don't bring me back. Okay, I'm sorry. I had just traumatic flashbacks. We're good. Everything's okay. Everything's also a hint. Anyway, so yeah, so that happens. Joshua storms out. You have the shell. What happens now?
Oh, Lady Temin.
We call up Lady Temin, or I guess Nakali.
So yeah,
I don't know how many shells they have.
You call in. You only know how to call Nakali through your shell, so you call out Nakali's name, and she answers, and her face is still like stern as she like answers the call, but there's it's hard to tell because scaly skin, but slightest tinge to her cheek, just the slightest bit. Just, it's good to see you all. I trust you were safe down there.
Fine, safe.
Safe is absolutely not the right word, but we're alive.
This is, yep.
Alive is good. I'm glad you're all still here.
Anyway, as far as reporting in goes, so are we. As far as reporting in goes, I have some bad news and potentially interesting news.
Let's start with the bad. Get it out of the way.
The bad news is that Ploy is now the captain of the ship.
Hey now. It might be bad news to you. It's good news for me.
I mean,
It's just news.
I will need time to process that. Move on.
Won't we all?
yes.
As far as the interesting news goes, is Lady Temin about?
And just, I can see if I can go find her. Give me a moment. You can see Nakali kind
I
of
believe
moving
she'll want
around
to
a
hear
bit.
this.
And eventually you can see Nakali kind of like she walks into like some other kind of like area, and then you can see her immediately just go, "Oh my, what in the please, more careful with the apothecary work, my lady, please. We have to live here." And she handles handles the shell over. You see the face get fuzzy and then resolve into Lady Temin's face, where you can hear a mumbling just, youngsters always complaining about things they don't
Sorry,
understand.
cut out again.
You can hear the so yeah, passes the shell over to Temin, and you can just hear Shem and Temin fade in and just Fraz fucking youngsters know nothing about what they're talking about. Hi, yes, hello you all.
Literally, I cannot hear anything you're saying.
That's fine. Do you want to see if we can go to a break and you can reset your computer?
Yeah,
I think
sure.
Let's do
that's a
that.
good plan.
Let's do that. All right, so we're gonna head out momentarily and let you
Sorry,
guys. No,
y'all.
it's totally fine, dude.
It's
These things happen. Don't worry about it.
Issues
Yeah,
happen.
we're also an hour and a half.
that
in.
was too much.
Exactly. It's actually a pretty good time anyway. Also, my dog's screaming at you
Yeah.
anyway, so it's perfectly fine. I'll be right back. We love you all. Be safe. Bye,
Good
babies.
time.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Hello again, Stream Chat. This is your host, Young Foxxii, checking in. Just to let you guys be aware, we will be taking a slightly larger than normal break as one of our members gets some food in the system, and then we'll be right back to it. So expect us to come back by 7 on the hour exactly. So please, get up, get yourselves a good drink, something to whet the appetite, as it were, and be ready for more Seven Sons when we get back. Thanks, everybody. Love you so much. And we're back. Apologies for the delay, but we're happy to resume the adventure proper once we get some music going. Our players are below deck aboard the bloat whale ship Durga, which Ploy just had a very interesting heart-to-heart with. They are now holding their magic shell, the shell phone as it were, having just encountered Joshua talking with Nakali on it. He storms out, leaving you with the shell, and you are now free to do with it what you will. Take it away, my loves.
Well, we spoke to Nakali about Ploy getting a ship.
You did do that.
Yes.
Lady Temple and the egg.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
So,
I'm sorry. That's where we'll bring it back in. Sorry about that. So, you called Nakali, told her about deploying the ship, handed the phone over to Lady Temen.
we mentioned nothing about Joshua.
She looks over, takes the phone, and just, oh, hello, my friends. It's great to see you.
You too. Listen. While we were investigating the spot where we found the Herald, I found something, and I thought you might want to know about it.
You found your purpose.
And
I know.
no, I mean something physical.
She doesn't say anything.
I believe Zanari has it right now.
Secure the
here,
egg.
look at this.
Zanari holds up the egg without even looking away, like breaking eye contact with you. Just, I know what I said.
What does this egg have to do with my purpose?
You are the
You
caretaker.
said it was.
Are we gonna trust Mako with the egg?
You trusted me with the shell. We found this egg under a herald. I thought you said that the caretakers were for the god beasts.
This is too is part of the plan. The caretakers, in their infinite wisdom, saw the great beasts, those under the god beasts in terms of power, but still supplicant to them in terms of their divinity, or lack thereof. And they sought to, well, cull these creatures, keep their numbers small and their populations thin so as to hold the tide at bay. I must say that I don't necessarily know how they did it. I do know that their name was not given accidentally. This creature here, it is yours, or it will be in time. Your responsibility, that is.
Just when I need more responsibility. So then, what do I do with it while it's an egg? How do I protect it? How do I?
She opens her mouth to speak, stops, and says, you see her birth slowly a really wide grin? Hold on to it. Bring it back to base. I have an idea.
Put it where you keep the shell phone.
I only have so much room inside my torso, Ploy.
Yeah, but you have room for a shell phone and an egg.
It's a big egg.
I mean, is it gonna fit in his neck?
And I've still gotta move with it inside me.
Oh, you know,
Might not be a good idea.
Temen
Could be a
giggles.
hearty egg, but still.
Temen giggles in a very sing-songy voice, just... Yes, yes, not much room in that chest of yours. But so much room in that soul. You, storyteller, come here.
I can't store an egg
Go
inside my
hide.
soul.
well, I mean, technically, if you
Child, quiet. I need a moment. Storyteller, hand on the caretaker. Other one on the phone, please. Allow me a moment. You'll see her eyes light up with this eldritch power, and you'll feel this current of energy lance up into you, Zanari, settle firmly in your chest for the rarest of moments, and then peel away into Mako, establish this linked connection between the three of you almost. This shared space. And the three of you feel everything begin to just slip away as it's only the three of you left. Wonderful. That'll be all, actually. I need him for a moment. You'll see, even though you can't really see her, Temin shoo a bit, and Zor'aa, you are snapped out of this connection. And it's now just you and Lady Temin, Mako. She says, apologies for my rudeness to your friends, but I must speak with you. Urgently.
What is it?
How much do you know about that curse cast upon you?
I know it kept me rooted in place for what felt like centuries. Forced me to move against my will until I encountered the members of the Tomb Teller's Guild. And it was only through the loosening of the Lich's control over the armor that I was able to regain some semblance of control.
Indeed. Necromancy is a confusing art. The way a soul guides a mind guides a body. Those bonds are difficult to break. Do you assume you were the first soul trapped in that armor?
Are you telling me there were others?
You don't feel them yet.
I felt traces. What?
You blink, and you are in a living room. A large, open parlor. There's a table you're sitting at with a large roasted beast of some kind in front of you that smells just like the most savory thing in the world. A woman sits across from you, haggard, tired, but holding affection in her eyes. Gromol, you cannot keep leaving me like this. You won't come back if you do it again. I'm afraid of that every time. You blink again, and you're back in front of her. She says, there's one.
I've had the sensations before of knowing things that I never learned, or doing things that I never learned how to do. Are you telling me that's what this is? The souls in this armor are bleeding into me?
Perceptive one. A second later, you are in a castle, or a grand hall of one. There's large tables set out, most high arches. In fact, this scene doesn't look horribly unfamiliar. You've been in plenty of noble places before. This huge room. A gathering of others dressed in some fine regalia of cultures from various different things you've never seen from a time you don't know. Bicker back and forth, shouting and debating back and forth. While you, from a seat of plush leather and gold arraignment, sit. And in your heart you feel tired. They've been bickering for so long, and you just wish they would listen. You blink again, and you're back, and she says, and there's another.
So what does this mean for me? Is this what I'm going to become? Just an echo stuck to a suit of armor?
If I told you I knew that, would that give you peace?
No, it wouldn't give me peace. I just want to be free of whatever is keeping me here. I just want to give this armor back to my family and then move on.
In that case,
I don't want to be stuck here forever.
In that case, I have a question for you, Mako Sky. Have you died before?
What is death anyway? I don't have a body.
Stop.
You're
thinking. All you've been doing is thinking. stop thinking, and know. Have you died before?
I have felt death when I became like this. I don't know how else you would describe it if not death. Feeling of your soul ripped out from your body, and then the loss of control, of any control you had over it. That control given to another.
To pass the mortal coil. To pass the mortal coil. To move beyond, only to be snatched back. Not that different from recent tales you've heard, has it?
I suppose not.
Death is a fickle thing, Mako Sky. For those of us who pass beyond, we become a part of something greater. And sometimes, when we come back, a part of that sticks with us.
Us?
Us.
Who are you?
A better question would be, who are you? You blink, and you are seated in a cave. A chair of old, rickety wood around you. A wheel on either side. 5 adventurers gathered around to hear you tell a tale. One of them, a blurry figure you can't fully make out. The rest look all too familiar to you. You blink again, and you're back. Lady Temin with a wide smile on her face. To pass beyond the barrier, to become a part of the collective, to return changed. You and I are oh so similar, Mako.
So, what happens now?
And that depends on you. Destiny is what remains of the choices we make. It's a changing thing, warping and whipping around until we meet it, or are overtaken by it. For you there is something greater ahead. Perhaps something terrible. Something far, far more intelligent than you or I chose you for this. Chose to bless you with the part of you you brought back. That caretaker's essence stuck to your soul. I sense we'll know why soon. What you do with that information, Mako Sky, is entirely up to you. You snap, and you are back into reality. And all of you can notice there is a spectral shawl of cloth hanging over Mako. Woven fabrics lining all the way down his gauntlets and arms. A hood coming up over his head. And the parts on his helmet where his eyes would be glowing bright blue. And Mako, you feel this emptiness in you. Right in the middle. Like something needs to be there and isn't. And then it fades. As you come back, you all notice this spectral image slowly flare up and then fade away. Temin just says, "Excuse me for that. I sense you all need time to talk, and that was taxing on me, so I'll leave you all to it." And without waiting, she'll just end the call.
Oh, I wanted to show her, or I wanted to tell her about the thing I did with the animals. And the beasts.
Mako, are
Maybe
you?
next time.
Not
you
now,
okay?
ploy.
You doing alright? I saw the thing with the Spectre thing.
I may need a moment.
Take your time, friend.
Excuse me, please.
Time you need. You know where to find this.
Yeah.
Right.
Mako, you blink as you're, or the feeling sensation of blinking as you're walking away, or giving yourself some space from your friends, maybe stepping back for a second. As you blink, you see a ruined battlefield. Corpses strewn about, piled high like mountains. Weapons of every shape, size, culture, origin, and purpose. Strewn about, blood and viscera coating the scene. Around you, there are 4 bodies, last bits of life, just barely leaving them. You watch as the 4 of your friends you've been traveling with die in front of you. And then you snap and are back.
Does anything about the battlefield look recognizable to Mako?
Yes, but no. Like, it's not strange for you to see it. It's almost like you've been in the battlefield for a bit, like you've seen this battlefield for a bit, like you've been here for a while. But none of it looks familiar. It's just not shocking to you.
I need time to process all of this. But we may not have a. We may want to be wary of what destiny has in store for us.
I mean, yeah. I heard something similar from Durga, so we'll see.
A lot of this is going down. I'm gonna go down to fuck the gods. Ugh.
The scene grows a little quiet as it gets a bit later in the day, moving towards, the nightfall as the sun begins to crest down towards the horizon, creating an orange-amber twilight amidst the sky. Durga is still resting, having not taken flight yet. The body of the Herald is above you all on the floor, and as you all hear this quiet, you notice... Oh, that's the wrong sound. I'm sorry, don't mind that. You notice... You hear a commotion above you all. You all take off upstairs, back to go see what all the noise is, because this doesn't sound like party noise, but like awe or fear, maybe? And as you all, or any of you who want to, dash up these stairs to go check on what the hell's going on, the body of this herald is aflame. Now, nothing else seems to have caught fire, even the wooden deck, but the body, every inch of it, is coated in this incandescent flame that burns so hard against this coming evening twilight. For minutes you watch as this fire rages, slowly and slowly growing smaller. As it finally dies down into embers, there is almost nothing left. Nothing but the silhouette of this great beast's body in a single, small, pale blue crystal.
My javelin.
Oh yeah, that's it too, sorry.
Yes.
Well, at least your javelin is okay. Mitz is going to, I guess...
Mako walks over to the gem. Let me see that.
The core.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be best if, some of us don't touch it, since Mitz distinctly remembers, the herald, and its young beast child did not like it.
I'm gonna grab the javelin and make sure it's okay.
It's fine. Looks like it's perfectly good. Like you know,
Yep.
nothing wrong with it.
Alright.
Damn it, I was
You
gonna
always
make.
come back.
And it's like, just sorry Z, I was gonna, well, I was hoping to use some of the parts for, well, okay, I guess we can't.
Okay. You know, I always seem to find a way.
I
You guys
know, but
aren't
you need
quite rid of
more
me yet.
substance. You almost burned to a crisp out there.
Yeah. Wasn't great. So, Mako, anything special about that gem?
Dungeon Master.
So, as you approach the gem, you begin to start moving towards it. And as you do, try to start moving closer to this thing, the ground around you all begins to tremble a bit. It's light, almost indistinguishable from Durga's breathing at first, but then heavier, and then heavier. And if this wants to play properly, which I don't think it wants to. Alright, you know what? It doesn't want to. Let me see if I can fix this. So, as you approach heavier and heavier, the ground begins to tremble a bit. Eventually, as you feel this tremble grow so hard that you can almost barely keep your footing, as it were, in the distance you hear just this ear shattering, just this absolute ground quaking roar just peel off into the night. And as you hear this, it's not even hard for you to tell, you're now all on the top deck. You look off in the distance to the south, to the far south. This pillar of bright red-orange flame and magma and molten rock shoots high into the sky in the distant mountains. This roar peeling off and shock-waving for miles and miles around you as it sounds out around you. Eventually, the rumbling settles just enough. Beneath you all, you hear a loud howl like a giant wolf, and then a crash as one of the side walls of the bloat whale ship, of the cabin, bursts open, and a massive furry figure goes shooting off towards the horizon.
Like a rock, like shooting like a rocket ship, or like is he just running?
It's running.
Okay.
Is Wolf gonna be
Wolf can
okay?
fly now.
That's Wolf.
Yeah.
Is Wolf gonna be okay? Should we stop
What's
it? I mean, it looked
Go
like
after him?
Hey, Mako.
like
Yes, yes, GM. Oh no.
Phone's ringing.
Bring, bring.
You gather the feeling of warmth and you reach in and pull out the shell. A face materializes. It is Temin, and she looks frantic. It's awakened.
What's awakened?
One of the god beasts.
The god, yeah.
oh.
We should go after him.
Where is Wolf?
Yes.
He
He's
just took
running.
off in that direction.
Do not go anywhere near him.
What?
What?
But he's normally
He's experiencing his own awakening right now. The energies of the god beasts are resonant around this land. Any of you who are attuned to magic right now can probably feel that. And true to form, if Zanari or Mitz, you reach out with your senses, you can feel this disturbance, this growing presence out in the distance of magical energy. It's too distant to get a good sense of, but it's impossible to ignore. He is coping, for lack of a better term. I
Also see.
don't think any of you could get close enough to him and not risk your own safety. We must trust in fate right now.
All right. I mean,
Trusting you on
too.
this.
I mean, because
Which way did he go?
the last time Wolf, this happened with Wolf, he was fine with us. Well,
He went south.
Expected. He'll travel for about an hour or so, find some poor animal or gathering of animals to slaughter, rip apart, feed himself, challenge whatever biggest creature he can find, probably win, and at that point he might calm down a bit. The best thing I could say you do is use that new ship of yours and just follow the trail of blood. Your friend will be fine. Trust me when I say that right now there are very few things among the waste that could take him. I fear for any travelers he passes, not so much for him.
I mean, that sounds like the wolf I know.
yeah, that's pretty par for the course for Wolf.
Each of you is facing an unraveling fate, I gather. There are questions I'm certain you have. In fact, some of you might think me cryptic, hiding things from you. I have not been. There is only so much even I know. What comes next? What happens after all this? I have never seen. But I do know all of you are at the center of it.
Yeah, we've been told that before. Or at least I have.
There's a quick rustle. Just like a bit quick, like massive shuffling of motion as the Temen's face gets blurred, and then Nikali has her face materializes into the shell phone, as it were, and she looks also panicked, but it's not hard to tell. It doesn't seem like it's about the earthquake. It's just, there's more. We just received news. One of the Emir of Wadal's, former Emir of Wadal's, Mashadi, has been named the new Emir.
Which one?
Which one?
Which one? It does matter a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yes.
important.
Rabash.
You know, that's the better
Yes.
outcome,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be honest.
Well, good,
I prefer
because that's the
Rabash
good
over-
news.
What's the bad news?
What has Kali done?
Oh, nothing major, just rallied 4 platoons of Hashari soldiers with those new muskets, taken off into the wastes and began a crusade against those who would have seen her true master caught down. The casualties are already in the hundreds. She's on a rampage.
Is there any sign of where she's headed? Or is it indiscriminate?
Towards Boone. And my fear is she won't stop there. There have been rumblings. An Emir dying is no small thing, I'm sure you all know. So the rumors have spread already. A flash of crimson, something faster than light itself, and the Emir is dead. People have already begun to speculate, and well, let's just say the rumors match up. The Emir of Al-Sal is said to have an assassin amongst his ranks, quicker than lightning, a crimson blur that takes a target out before they are ever seen. There are two-sided rumors in this. On the one hand, there are those, like Kali, who believe Al-Sal is responsible, and may seek to make war for it. On the other, there are those within Al-Sal who are still asking questions. I don't know what to tell you all to do with this information. Not yet. I have to gather sources, talk to people, see what I can do to buy us time. I'll dispatch whoever I can to gather out to all the towns we can near the base, see if we can't get the people there to scatter or defend themselves. We can't let the slaughter go unchecked. I don't know what you all have planned right now, but unless you have a plan for dealing with her, I would avoid Kali for now.
May I ask,
You may ask me anything.
does Rabash approve of Kali's crusade, or is she acting independently of him?
She's on her own. Rabash has made public decree that any who aid her are considered traitors to the state of Wadal. Doesn't seem to be slowing her cause, though. We caught her at one border town about 3 weeks ago. Sorry, about 3 days ago with an army of about 400. Next town over, only an afternoon later, she had 650.
Hi. Didn't know she was that charismatic.
She's not. She's just bloodthirsty. But blood is as good as coin out here. Sometimes it's all someone needs. Or wants. Regardless, there are too many factions forming. Sides and alliances and betrayals being brewed before we had the time to capitalize on them. We have to move swiftly. Whatever you all have planned, see it done, and report in soon.
Can do.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Hey now.
Nikali looks over at you, Ploy, and gives a half smirk and just says, "It's Commander, actually." And then ends the call.
Whoa. So during
Wait,
this
technically you
entire-
outrank her.
Do I? Is Captain higher than Commander?
Captain is
Captain
higher
is
than
above
Commander.
Depends on it depends on what you're
Depends on
talking.
what you're
It's
talking
if you're
about.
talking about traditional military U.S. organization, then yes, but no in this context.
It's
Oh.
fine. It's fine.
You can in your
Anyway.
head if you want to, if it makes you feel better.
During this entire call, like, you could like just see that like there are just gears turning in Z's head. Like she's putting pieces together of an equation of like what is the best action to take. What are the things that we know? What can we use against what?
It's that one that one guy with
first
the math
thing-
around him gif,
yeah.
just like
Yeah, basically. First thing, she is going to reach out to her wife, actually, and just ask to watch over Wolf and the people he may encounter, just so nobody is taken before their rightful time and we're not disrupting any fates by Wolf's fate becoming realized.
Probably a good idea.
So you pull into yourself, draw in this feeling you've done, that similar to the way you felt before when you've been pulled into Shayada's realm. Not all the way, you're not fully drawn into the void, you still can see and process your friends around you, but a voice, a calm and soothing one, but slightly somberful, enters your head. There are 4 who will meet their end at your friend's hands this night. I am death itself, but I cannot rewrite the fates, my love. I will offer their souls every piece that I can, and I can assure you that no harm will come to your friend, but that's the only assurance I can give you.
That's enough. Thank you.
There is one other thing I can offer. She says, "Look to your right." And as you're on the first floor of the bloat ship, you see there's a crowd of pirates all gathered. Most of them are chattering about the big incandescent body that just disappeared. But as you look over, and almost easier than it is for you normally to pick somebody out of a crowd, you notice someone in the back, tall, well poised, with flowing black hair, and a soft smile on her face, who nods at you and gestures with a finger.
Okay, I'll go on over there, I guess.
You walk on over, and the face is deadly familiar. It's Shayada. It's your wife. She sees you, offers a warm smile, and says, "I can't be here long. I just wanted to stop in and say hello."
I always love a visit. How are you?
Under duress. My siblings are restless. There is so much I wish I could tell you, and I am certain you're tired of hearing that from me. I want to offer you what I can. She looks over and says, the slave girl, the guide of yours, can you bring her here?
Sure.
And almost as if like you turn and go like to walk away, as you kind of like walk back from this crowd, Brika kind of like almost like idly like walks by, and she was like trying to go somewhere else but like forgot where she was going and just, oh, hey Z.
Hey.
Is there something you need? She does kind of pull her hood up a little bit more to hide her markings some.
Oh. There's a friend that wants to meet you for some reason. Would you mind, walking with me for a bit?
You hear a voice enter your head and say, never mind. Just grab her hand, please.
I just offer my hand.
Brika
This is so weird.
takes your hand. You don't feel anything at all. And there's just this weird quiet. And then you hear a voice say, that's all. You're welcome, love. And when you look back behind you, Shayara's gone. But Brika's reverse palm, which you are definitely certain should have one of those markings on it, doesn't. What is it? She looks down at her hand, she pulls her hood all the way back, just throws it off her head, and she's completely clear of markings. There is no death curse around her at all. How did you...
I'm just about as shocked as you are.
She looks up at her hands.
That was...
Just... What? I don't... What? She looks just shocked and speechless, but you see her just well up a bit before she just throws herself around you, just wraps you very tightly. And you kind of, you can hug back if you want to, certainly, it's not a problem. But as you do so, you kind of feel a third-ish set of arms around you just a little bit. It's not, like, solid enough. It's just the faint impression. Brika looks up, a bit wide-eyed, and then offers a very, very warm smile and just says, I'll see you soon, Tamil. And then she just lets go. And you can just hear, like, can't really hear, but you can feel Shayada's smile in the back of your head.
Yeah, I just get that mental smile back. It's like, I love my wife.
My wife's great. How's yours? Well, there is one last thing I need to have happen. Mitz, you're looking at that crystal, right, that just dropped?
Yeah.
Headache. Your head hurts so bad right now.
Damn it! Why does everything
is.
associated with God beasts hate me? Oh. And Mitz is gonna like pull out Nga and be like, okay, Nga, I can't see a goddamn thing, and this hurts. Can you? And like Mitz is gonna like wave a hand and conjure up a spell quill, and let Nga take over like the writing with the spell quill, even if it like uses up most of Mitz's most of her mana.
You feel Nga establish a connection with you. They, well, I can't say open their mouth if they don't have one, but you get the impression like they would be trying to speak into your mind or commune with you. But they stop. They say nothing. They silently manifest the quill and record the image of this blue crystal, close themselves, and just say, it's no problem.
No? You're being awfully polite. What? Are you okay? Is there something wrong? Mitz is like,
It's... I can't explain it. Or, more accurately, I don't think it's my duty to do so.
are you feeling okay?
Fine. Are you?
I mean, I've still got a bit of a headache. This is...
I have a hypothesis. I'll need time, though.
Alright. Actually, while you're on that while you're thinking about that, I was planning on asking Z or maybe even Nikali about this, but actually, Mitz is gonna like try to wave at Z, see if like turn around and be like, "Hey, over here."
I'm walking back after having like a strange out of body experience, I guess.
Z,
It's a normal
Give her-
Tuesday.
I had a thought, and tell me if this is gonna be weird or doable. Both you and but remember those handcuffs that cut us off from our magic?
Hmm.
Well, they also cut me off from from the divinity that I normally can use. And, well, if we're going to be fighting god beasts, do you think maybe we could rework that spell? Because, well, god beasts and gods are effectively immortal. But if we can cut them off from that divinity, maybe that might help us take him down. I don't know. And
I like that thinking. What about that crystal that we just found? What's going on with that? I had a theory.
I don't know. I can't even look at it. Can you?
Yeah, I'll look at it. It's just, you couldn't look at the picture. You couldn't look at that. And the core in the middle, that crystal just seems very reminiscent, considering the corpse of the being just shattered into a bunch of fragments. Perhaps this was foretold in that pillar.
Because I had a theory about that, but maybe... I'm pretty sure my hypothesis was wrong, but hear me out. I felt like maybe one of the reasons I couldn't read it, or at least I was thinking that maybe perhaps you wouldn't be able to read it either, was because, well, the future isn't set in stone, and the previous two stories on the pillar were, well, they already happened, or at least were foretelling. But people aren't meant to know what happens in the future. That's paradoxing, but for some reason when you saw it, or at least you were able to read it, so maybe I'm just wrong here. I don't know.
As the two of you are having this chat, Z, you feel a little bit of a tug at the bottom of your pants.
I look down.
It's
Is
Ami.
it my child?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's
Sorry.
got a little bit of a scroll in her hand. And she kind of just like waves it up at you. Just, Mom, there are stories downstairs.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Could you read me a few?
Sure. What's the one that you got here?
She holds it up to you. Just says, I don't know. It's an old one. I think it's about a god.
That sounds really interesting. I guess I'll open up the scroll. What's going on?
You open the scroll, and it is a similar retelling of that second story Mitz had on the pillar. about the gods bickering and arguing with each other, angry at one of their number, Amutep, for stepping too far, for weaving a plot too complex, for doing too much. But it's different in that, unlike where the story ends and then has that graphic of the splintering, it ends with this foreboding message of Colchis, god of the void, the ever-consumer, god of entropy, vowing that something has to be done about this. And that's where it ends, as opposed to this shattering of everything.
So wait, the god saying that something has to be done about this, or okay?
A god.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Ami just looks and just says, that one seemed a little boring, I guess, but there are a whole bunch other down there if you want to go pick them up. I don't know if we can go in there because the bird person said only the captain can go in the study. But your friend's the captain now.
That's true.
Remind us.
He probably wouldn't mind. He's gonna go.
As a reminder, only Zanari is hearing this, for the record.
Yeah. He probably doesn't mind. It's fine.
You're even gonna ask me?
No one's gonna
Just
ask
go, it's
Boy for
fine.
permission. It's like,
I'll
See.
just ask forgiveness. It'll be fine.
Ask forgiveness, not permission. So, you head down the stairs, and Mitz, you strangely feel like you should go with them for some reason. It's not like a pull, but it's just like a, I should tag along.
I mean, Mitz is like, story? A lot like what I just saw in the filler, but different ending? That's
So,
another particular hypothesis. Let's go.
you go, you come below, you're below the deck now, on the under level, towards the front. On the left is the captain's quarters, on the right is the captain's study. You open that door, and the door's not locked. You sense they haven't changed the locks over since Ploy's been made captain. So, the study's unlocked, and you open, and there's a big map table in the middle with a large map of Zor'aa spread out, just, you know, with some locations marked out, some crossed off, probably as places the captain and his pirates have raided over the years, things like that. But along the walls are a bunch of shelves, and they are layered and layered and layered with books and scrolls and tomes and things like that. And as you start picking through them, they're all kid stories. You can actually see the captain, or the first mate rather, poke his head up and say, Aye, bit of a soft spot for him. And just keeps it moving down the hallway.
We're not gonna judge. It's a great historical account for archaeologists to hear child stories. It's great.
So yeah, they're just, and Ami has already got like a stack of just like tomes and books just like ready on the side, just like points at them and like looks up at you expectantly, just Z, just like,
Okay, I'll pick up and start reading some of these.
so
By the way, what happened to the crystal?
it's still up on top
I
of the
was
deck.
also wondering.
It's on top of the deck right now. If any of you get close to it, it doesn't do anything.
I'm gonna take it.
You can't. You go to pick it up, it doesn't move. Like, it's like it weighs too much. It's just too heavy to move.
Hmm.
I'm
only
also
thing
gonna
for-
try and
Same deal.
inspect it. Okay.
You can't pick it
Why?
up. It just doesn't move. It's just there.
There's nothing left for me to make a javelin out of.
It's just there.
Mitz is just like, leave it. I'll see if I can't. Wait, it gives me a headache. Well,
So, Z, you start off story time with Ami for a bit. The first story is actually a Zoran account of your tale of the duelist, actually, and it's a bit fancified and there's some cultural relevance placed here or there, but it's an account similar to that, and to the point where like you're so familiar with this tale that once you start like recognizing it, you kind of like really get into it, kind of like dramatizing and like giving the characters voices and like showing off some of the scenes. At one point, you kind of hop up and start like fake dueling with Mitz. It's a really cute scene. It's very very adorable. Ami's just like super lost in it, having this great time. That tale ends. There's another tale, one about an old beggar who is secretly a king and didn't know it, but one day, like, basically some guards come to, like, kill him because the old king found out he was supposed to be the real king and, like, tried to get him killed, but this turns out to be the thing that makes him find out he's king, and so typical Oedipus story with, or, like, prophecy becomes true because it was tried to be avoided kind of thing. There's one of those stories, you really enjoy that, with less mother sex, obviously, or avoiding that whole spiel. It is about 4 or 5 stories in. You pick up a scroll. And it is empty. You open it, and there's nothing written on it. But the moment you open it, and I mean, you wouldn't know these moments are coterminous, but as you open it, up above, that gem starts glowing. Bright blue. It rumbles a bit, and then shoots through the floor. Just punches a hole straight through. It ends up in the middle of the hallway, as it was in the middle. It shoots straight down the hallway, books a hard right, bashes through the door, hovers in the middle of the study room. Zor'aa, you start speaking. You don't know what language, but you're saying words. You can't translate them, but it's a story. You know that. You feel that. Ami is transfixed, almost like she hasn't even noticed the gem. Just is eyes locked with you, Zanari, just lost in this story. Almost like she's understanding every single fucking word of this and is loving it. Just awestricken and amazed. Mitz, your head's hurting. A fair bit. But you do finally feel yourself, and you avoid the urge at first because you know looking at this thing hurts you, but you feel the urge to make eye contact with this gem. You need to look at it. Do you do so?
Mitz is going to resist until the headache builds to an unbearable level, and then sort of like, okay, if I look at it, maybe it'll stop. I turn to look.
As you turn to look, everything goes white, and you find yourself alone in an empty void. And on that, we're going to pause and head to one more very quick break. We will be right back, my loves, as it is time for quite the revelation in a day full of revelations. I encourage you not to go anywhere. Thank you, my loves, and we will see you all very soon. we return. Welcome back to the conclusion of this episode of The Seven Sons, where we last left off. Mitz, Zenari, and Ami were enjoying story time below deck in the captain's study, having a great time sharing story details and things. And as they were doing so, Zenari came across a strange scroll, fully empty for some reason. Somehow, she still begins to read from it, a story spilling forth from her tongue in a language she doesn't know and can't translate, while Ami remains transfixed. Meanwhile, the small, glittering blue crystal, the only remnant of the Molten Herald left, begins to vibrate and hum, and then shoots through the floor, piercing through the layers to the lower floors, shooting down the hallway, banking a hard right, piercing through the door of the study, and hovering in the middle of the study. Fighting against it for as long as possible, Mitz feels pain well in the back of her head, building slowly and painfully, until eventually, she looks up, and everything goes white. She finds herself in the void at first. Patience, emptiness, complete quiet all around you. This lasts for what feels like forever. And then a spark, light, floods all over your vision. Colors you've never seen before. A million hued rainbows this way and that way shoot out in an energy-filled explosion all about and around you, through you even, as you witness all of this. They gather, slowly forming, clustering here and there, gathering in places of little bits in density. They cluster together, condensing and pressing against each other. These hue colors melting together into bright whites and hue hazes, becoming a million and a million more pinpricks against the void black curtain as you, Mitz, watch the universe be born. You move forward. Nebulae becoming star, becoming supernova, becoming nebulae, becoming star, becoming supernova, becoming nebulae, becoming star, becoming planet, becoming solar system, becoming cataclysm, becoming society, becoming people, becoming destruction, becoming ruin, becoming star, becoming nebulae, becoming supernova, becoming star, becoming nebulae, becoming supernova, becoming planet, becoming life, becoming Zor'aa, becoming... You watch as time trickles out in front of you, eons, a second at a time. You watch kings fall and rise, regimes grow and burn, ideologies fall and die out in the dust of time, in the time it takes you to blink an eye. And in that blink, you see emptiness. No planet, no nebulae, no supernova, just an empty, black curtain with the barest pinpricks of the last red dwarfs to have yet given out their light to the universe. And in the distance, ahead of you, the last bit of color against an empty black universe is a figure, long, slender, and all-consuming in its presence. It tendrils around and around, leading back so far that you can't exactly see where it ends. As it crests and gathers and swells to an apex, two large, massive feathered wings spread out ahead it, beating once and twice and again as this large serpent of great multicolored feathers hovers about in the void, staring at you and saying nothing.
Who are you?
You already know.
Grandpa?
You ask so many questions. I will give you what I can for answers. Your people, are a fragment of divinity, a splinter, baked about the mortal world and seen fit to use what little influence you can to shape it. But you... I am sorry. I have a question for you, Mitztonkodal. What do you want? I know the answer, and I sense you do too. What is the one thing you would want?
Secrets.
You want to know. That is the correct answer. And I am so sorry for what happens next. It brays at you. This screeching sound so loud it stretches back to the beginning and ends of creation itself, filling every sense. A sound so loud you can taste it fills your head. And you are back. Or at least something like it. You can see your friends around you. Zanari is there. A story still spilling forth from her lips. Ami is there. And you're there, too. You see yourself standing there, eyes wide and alight with glow. And you look down at your hands and they're spectral. You can see just barely through them. Like you're not really there. Nothing really seems to move. Almost like you're frozen. And then Ami turns around and waves. You are pushed away, flown back. The scene of this room becomes Durga herself, becomes the sprawling deserts of Zor'aa, becomes the holy high horizon skyline, becomes the empty blanket carpet of stars all about you, and the glittering jewel of this planet you have lived your entire existence on. Just ahead of you, big enough to almost hold in your hands. And you look at this for a bit, and then you see it. All around you, not just the planet, but the stars, and the void, and the carpet beyond it, the curtain of night beyond it. Just beneath it, just above it, there's this lacing, lines and patterns of colors you can't explain. Some you are certain don't exist in your world. Twisting and turning in one dimension, and then another, and then another, and then another, and another, twisting in ways your mortal mind, or your mind that was once mortal, couldn't comprehend. You see this network of tracing patterns and lines and images. And this voice enters your head again, just as you realize all of reality is a spell matrix. All of it. An individual crisscrossing of ley lines, pools of ley energy, and channels of cosmic wind, of etheric force, all crisscrossing, interlapping, and combining in a way that just so happens to create this chaos we call reality. You see it all. And it all makes sense. And then your head hurts a lot again. That searing agony. And you blink, and it's all gone. And you're back at the end. What was once a curtain of stars, once again back to a few distant, blinking, and dying red dwarfs. In fact, as you look, you see one just whimper out of existence in that moment. And that large coatl figure is in front of you again. I chose this form because I thought you'd find it understandable. The least you could understand right now. I owe you an apology. I am not your ancestor, not in the way you know them. But I am intricately tied to you. Do you know who I am, Mitz? I know you know my name.
Amuto?
So very perceptive. I will begin at the beginning. Well, a relative beginning. But aren't all beginnings relative? Nonsense. For a time, my siblings and I understood the world as a balance. Each of us held our domains, kept the strands of fate in line, and changed only what we felt necessary. Then came the chaos. The god beasts reign upon this world. Brought turmoil, destruction. Even fate itself began to sunder. And the only thing worse than that were the actions my siblings wished to take to stop it. Fate is a fickle thing, little one. And we, as gods, treat it like a plaything. If a mortal is to die one way, and I believe they should die differently, then they do. If a mortal is to live their life a certain way, be born in a certain city, meet a certain lover at a certain age, and one of us wishes them to meet them differently, to be born somewhere else, or to have never been born at all, we do so. What remains after all the editing and tracing and changing and rewriting, what remains is fate, the fickle thing it is. I realized this, and I saw what was to come. Saw the way the balance would be overthrown, the way the god beasts and my siblings and the mortals who think themselves above all of us, maybe they're right. Nonsense. I changed what was to be. I rewrote your fate, and that of Zanari's, and of Ploy's, and of Wolf, and of Mako. I changed all of your fates. I wove the strands together to see what would come of it. I expected to find a balm for the wounds coming to our reality. Instead, I forged a spear. Something powerful enough to pierce the uncertainty of even the impossible. You all decide fate now. Do not let my siblings bluster and bray at you. We have not half the power all of you have. But of course, for the actions I took, I was punished. I called it betrayal for a while, but I've forgotten to think in such concepts. So much of me is gone now. My brother sought retribution for what I had done. But death is not such an easy concept for a thing like me. Where you, or one like you, could pass beyond the veil, simply exist as part of the collective for eternity, watched over by my sister. We do not share that fate. I was certain, to be sure of that. When Culture struck, I splintered myself, shattered bits and pieces of me all throughout the cosmos and time, spread everything that I am across all that is. But I left one very important component. I'm sorry. I lied to you again. I did not leave a component. I left me. And now, I am talking to her.
Sorry. What? You and I are one and the same?
The god of knowledge. But not for much longer. Soon, it will be just you.
What happens? How does that work? You are knowledge. How can I be a mortal part of you if you... I don't understand.
You do. You know far, far more than you think you do. You are just not yet ready to touch it. Unfortunately, time is not a thing we have much of, little one. You must find the temple in the clouds. Its doorway will be what begins your awakening, your ascension. Gather pieces until it becomes clear to you. Do not relent, and when the moment comes, do not look back. And know that I am sorry.
You know, being sorry to yourself is not... isn't healthy, you know?
I suppose that's true. However, I'm known to have a habit of talking to myself.
Yes, I do too.
Things will become clear in time. Your friends are tied to the gods in ways even I could not predict. I told you that I changed all of your fates, and that was true. But certain quirks have emerged. Things I didn't plan for. Some of them I know to be my siblings meddling. Your friend's matrimony to my sibling, for one. But there are other places. That matters not right now. Or has it always mattered? Has it ever mattered? Does anything matter? I'm sorry. I'm doing it again.
Those are the important questions.
And I know you have many of them. But you will find all the answers, Order Keeper. When the time comes, you and what you know will be what guides the way. I pray you make the right choice.
Right and wrong are still relative, as far as the Quaddlefolk are
Everything
concerned.
is relative, my dear. even time.
Well,
Now,
me?
I won't
nice.
let you leave empty-handed before you go, sadly. There is one other thing I have to give you. But before I do, I need to know you're ready.
Is anyone ever ready?
You are.
Well then. Most important things in life are choices. And if the gods are gonna be screwing around with fate, might as well have as much of a leg up as we can, huh?
You think in surprisingly mortal terms still. What I have to give you is not a boon. It is information. The child, Ami, I believe.
Favorite niece.
She's quite quaint with names, yes. You must destroy her.
What?
Not now. Not yet. But when the time comes, it will be you or her.
Look, you might be me, but you and I have much different perspective. And I don't know about the webs that waves fate weaves or what destiny has in store. I'm even if I am a part of you, I am still mortal. I don't care if it's me or her. That's my precious niece. There will be no harm come to her.
Then you have already made your choice, and I am sorry. There is, in the distance, this rumble all around this construct you feel placed in midst, and from the blackness you hear... Time is up, little brother. Say your goodbyes. And you are booted from that instance you felt attached to. All of you, those of you who were there, and by that I mean, I guess, literally just Zanari and Ami, you come to, out of your story you just were reading / not reading, and Mitz, who was just gently lifted off the ground a few inches, collapses in a pile on the floor as you snap back to.
Looks down at the scroll, just sets it down, somewhere. And yeah, goes over the myth like, "You okay? Were you just flying? What was I just doing?" And she looks over to Ami. Is Ami okay? Like, what is she doing?
Ami looks scared.
Ah, okay.
Is Ami okay?
Are you okay?
I think my brain's gonna burst out of my ears. That was...
Dog.
She got annoying. I had to pick her up.
She's so cute. She's so good. I think it's time to lay down. We've done a lot today. I hope her to go lay down somewhere. Get some water.
You gotta tell your wife. I met her brother.
Good to know. Good to know. I will definitely let her know that. And I'm like also kind of like ushering like Ami out of the room just to like follow us and like, you know,
Yeah,
comforting
she's
pats.
clutching you very tightly, just in the
Okay.
same way that I am this dog right now.
Yep.
Well, I should probably stop the spooky noises, right? My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, dog. Love you.
That's fine. It adds to the anxiety.
I got you. Here, I'll switch it up a little bit. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Is there still a party going on? There's a party over.
Party's over. It's nighttime now.
You got it.
So how's everybody doing? Heard a commotion.
Yeah, I think a little bit more got revealed about, you know, the fates and stuff, but like Mako needed a moment. I think Nitz needs a moment.
Yeah, today's been a bit of a crazy
We
day,
can,
huh?
yeah, we can reconvene. I think be okay. I think we all
Yeah.
just need to maybe sleep.
Sleep sounds good.
I need to promise something. No matter what happens,
Same.
it's me or her. The choice. Ami will live. Yeah, I think Mitz is just gonna fall over at this point.
Yeah. Into hammock or whatever
Mitz,
sleeping arrangement is nearby. Just
as you go
for a
to
second.
Mitz, before you fall out, entering into your head, for the first time, is a soft child's voice. We don't always have choices.
Well, our choices. I've made mine already. You're
And
gonna
you'll
be fine.
and both you, Zanari and Mitz, will feel just this deep sigh. And it's still childlike, but it does feel a little more mature, a little older, just a little. And effectively, there is just a quiet falling over the sort of the area. You guys are now all gathered up in the study. You know, I guess unless you've moved over to the resting area now to get some to head over to your beds now. So I'll assume you do so. You head over to place everyone down, get some rest. Ami definitely immediately just lays down. She is in her bed, just resting. And is there anything you guys want to do before you all settle in for like an evening of rest, or is that all?
I think Mitz is already passed out at this point, so.
That's fair. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Mako just goes straight to lying down.
Fair enough.
I'm just gonna hang out, maybe like link with Durga, chat, and just like rest, I guess.
As you link with Durga, she does kind of just rumblingly kind of answer to you that she's just contemplating some things. She senses a change in the winds.
Say that again.
Night falls, and you all are casually resting yourselves, having idle chats with your beast compatriots, or resting your bodies, or already in total unconsciousness. Zanari, just before you crest the void as it is, pass off into the great slumber for a little bit, you feel some shuffling in your cot, just some movement in your blanket. And it doesn't take long for you to notice that a decently sized humanoid figure, not big, is trying to crawl into your blanket with you.
Oh, okay. And she go.
She
That's
crawls up
okay.
to you and wordlessly just like front of your shirt just grips and pulls herself in as hard as possible.
Okay.
Just I don't know what it is, Ma. Things just I don't feel right.
How so? Can you explain that a little bit more?
It's hard. I'm scared, and I don't know what's gonna happen to us, but I know that something wrong will happen, and soon. And I don't want it to. I'm just scared, Mom.
You know, it's okay to be scared. That's part of being brave. But just know that no matter what, we're gonna be together. No matter where we go, what we do.
And she just presses herself
Something
into
you can
a
be
bit
certain
more.
of.
She just presses into you a bit more, lays her head down, kind of just tries to softly snuggle into you. And as you guys try to begin to rest, without a rustle or any movement, and it's weird because these things definitely feel like they're made for like 1, maybe 2 people max. So you're not exactly sure how to do it. Like, you briefly, as this is happening, you haven't thought about the physics of this is possible, but then you kind of quickly brush it aside as immediately you feel an arm around you. A slender, womanly arm that wraps around you and places itself against Ami.
Yeah, please sleep. This is good.
She just says, "Rest, you two. I will not let anything happen to either of you."
Always together.
And I believe that is a good place for us to leave off. I am gonna pass things off with an ending scene, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Go for it.
Where before our ending scene took place somewhere where time didn't quite seem there, this scene takes us coterminous to this evening. A large room, high with columns and arches, marble and gold, seamings depicting intricate artworks weaved all around the buttresses and corners and columns. In the middle, lit by multiple beams of amber torchlight, a large table, etched in with animal furs and hides and carved to look like, well, a map. There are markings and figures placed in places around them. A figure, snake-like but humanoid, huddles over this high table. His back is arched, his brow furrowed and angry. It starts off just as a furrow, and then it deepens, his eyes narrowing in frustration, his lips peeling back to reveal a sharp fang grit together in frustration and anger. His hand clenches hard enough that you can see just the faintest rivulet of blood drop down from that last finger in between his clutched grip. He holds his hand high. Outside, at a door, a Hashari individual in a long robe comes in, a clipboard in his hand. He checks it for numbers as he approaches his new liege lord. "Everything is prepared, my lord." Verbash, Emir of Daggers, looks at the map ahead of him. Anger, hatred, betrayal maybe even, burning in his heart as he says, "Then it's war, and I'll have her damned head." And that's all we've got for today. Thank you all for joining my lovely players and I for, man, probably one of the most fun sessions I've had in a really, really, really long time. This was great. Before we do outros or any other backslide shit, how are we feeling? How's everybody feeling today?
That's it.
I talked to some beast.
I don't condone child murder.
Yeah.
I
Valid.
understand why you need to say that for PR purposes.
Yeah, let's just clarify. We here at Neon Lights Roleplay do not condone child murder, and on any except the most ethical reasons. Like if that child's hovering over a nuclear launch code or something like that, maybe, you know, maybe we put one in the back of the kid's head. Anyway, no, move forward from that. The point being, how are we feeling?
God damn. Okay.
How are we feeling about the session today, everybody?
Pretty good. I talked to some beasts.
You talked to some beasts. You sure did.
You really took.
I learned some things.
So, I'm gonna ask this question before we have any discussion, and I asked this question before we went live last session, and now I'm asking it publicly on stream after this session. Raise your hand if you feel like you either know or have a solid hunch on your character's place in the subplot.
I did not hear
the
the second half of that
operator.
question.
The operator. Mako, still feeling a little lost?
I could not hear the second half of that question.
I want you to raise your hand if you either know or have a hunch on what your character's place is in the subplot, the narrative, as it were. So we've got 3, still waiting on Zanari, huh? Perfect.
Is it?
Yeah. No, it's exactly as I planned it out, actually.
Okay.
Since you bothered asking. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess okay. So here's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do this live, so we make sure this is an example of like a live, maybe the kind of thing I would do kind of post stream normally, but we have some extra time here, so I'll do it live so our chat can see how we break down here at Neon Lights. I'm gonna go one at a time, given that we had some individual moments and some spotlights on different people. So I'm gonna go one at a time, and I'll go in like my Discord order. So I'll call you out and ask, how do you feel about the amount of spotlight attention / like importance your character got today? And you can feel free to give as little or as much of an answer on that as you want. I'll start with you, Lucian.
Feeling pretty good about it. I had my moment. It was fun. Yeah, just kind of like, dude, so sad I lost javelin parts.
You got your javelin back, though. It was literally the only thing besides the crystal that survived.
Yeah, but that was a regular javelin. Nah, it doesn't. That part doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, I felt pretty good.
I'm glad. Dan, you?
I have so many questions now.
I know, and we'll talk. Don't worry.
But
You have questions.
I don't know. Yeah.
Blood big chillin'.
I don't know, like, I wasn't sure how to react to some of the, like, info that I was given, like, in character. It's just, like, it's a lot to dump on somebody.
That's fair, though. I will say, though, like, I personally really liked Mako's scene. I thought you handled that so well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was super compelling to watch.
Yeah, I want to talk about that more with you actually off stream once we get out of here, but just like 2 things. 1, are you feeling all right? I know moves attention motions got a little bit high there. Are you okay, like player to player here? Are you okay?
Oh yeah, player to player.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. That's the first thing. High priority. Second thing, just to give out the kudos, just marvelous scene. I loved that. Beautifully well done. So glad we had that here together. Just absolutely well played. Thank you so much for that. That was great. Don't you fucking hide. Come back. Come back and accept your flowers, motherfucker. Come back. All right, I guess next, Michelle, how are you feeling about like your setup today?
I have questions.
Reasonable.
Otherwise, I am glad that I poured out a glass of wine because man,
Oh no, just the fact that we were on break, I was like, "Hey, Michelle, are you ready?" And then she like left and came back with a bottle of wine.
It's really funny.
So good. Oh god, I love that. Yeah, that was fantastic. I fucking loved that. But yeah, so you're feeling overall, you feeling okay about like your attention and like the spotlight and like your plot importance here overall?
No, that's fine. I'm a little ticked at the whole like oh yeah, by the way, you gotta go kill Amian and like, but like giving a big giant fuck you to I guess it was technically me and saying no was also fun to say.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that. I just thought you would be like confused. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna leave that for there. Thank you for sharing that. I'll talk about it later. Heck,
For
how about you?
some reason, he thought you would be completely fine with child murder.
Well, no, not that I thought she'd be fine with it. It just, again, we'll talk about it later. It's fine. Heck, how you feeling about again, as the person who kind of like didn't have like the super important individual scene, how do you feel about like where this episode was for you and Zanari? Like where are you?
No, I still feel great. Like honestly, like even though like yeah, there wasn't a strictly individual scene, like she was still part of the scenes that she was present for. She was still supporting the other party members in whatever they were doing, and honestly, it was kind of like, just as much a part of that as the others. Like I joke about being the operator, but like that was kind of part of it. It's just like yeah, like helping communicate or yeah, that was mostly it, but still like that's still a lot. That's a big part. No, I'm fine with that. Like, and again, like in previous session, there's been a lot of focus on Z, so like I am perfectly fine. I'm just like give the other character scenes too. Like they're all really interesting. I promise.
Yeah.
Like just go check them out.
They're great. So one, thank you for that. I appreciate you feeling that way. This means a lot to me. And two, I agree with you. I feel like I was putting a lot on Zanari early in, so I kind of didn't want to step away from that. But I will say this: the way today was planned to go, the way the scenes were set up, as well as sort of the way Zanari's overall plot arc and the place she has in the prophecy, as it were, was written on my end with you as a person and you as a player in mind. And I say that to say that, like, I'll say this on stream happily. You are easily a person that I know is quick to lift others up, to say, like, I'm here for you in this, and it's one of the most admirable traits I think you have as a human being. And like when I pulled you into this, like as a player, when I was like, all right, you know what, I'm grabbing a fifth, it's Zor'aa. Like the moment I made that call, I was like, I think I know what I want to do. When you were telling me more about like your character idea, like what you wanted to do, and I was kind of like thinking about how to weave all you guys' backstories into this super complicated subplot and prophecy. As I was making the call for you, I said, this is a player and a person who loves to be an agent and a presence in the story of others, not as like a spotlight hog, but as a boosting presence, as a way to lift up other people. And all of you have that trait, honestly, but it's something that I very specifically appreciate in you, Heck. And so this was on purpose. That's all I'm gonna say. Not to pat myself on the back or whatever, but
no, I'm a support main. Okay, that's me.
Yeah, and that's all I've got as far as that. How are y'all feeling about just anything else? Are y'all feeling, otherwise we're feeling good about the campaign, where we're at? Feeling dope? Yo, I can say this live on stream for the first time. Dan, is that a yes? Is that a no? Is that a maybe? Dan?
I don't understand.
I don't understand.
It's a thumbs up. It's my thumb and it's up.
I hate that. That's so cursed.
I hate it so much. I despise it so much.
He does have a point.
I know we're gonna earlier, and I was like, I don't know what that means.
We're gonna move right on past that. We are gonna move right on past that, and we're gonna say, yeah, no, I'm glad you're all feeling good about where things are. I can finally say this live on stream and not forget to say it. I have to say it in the chat afterwards. Welcome to your next level, friends.
Hey.
Wait.
What if I just picked now as the time to go to class and just didn't go level 9
now? Come on.
Yeah, you guys are 9 now, right? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
oh my god. Yeah, we are. We are. I had to go to D&D Beyond. That's fine.
I'm gonna track these fucking things. I don't know. So there you go. Enjoy level 9, my loves. This was again, like, just
welcome to level 9.
Probably one of my favorite sessions I've had of TTRPG in a long time. I think I'm saying that a lot when playing with you guys, but it's only because you guys are a great group to play with that I love a lot. This is, like, I had some thoughts about what this campaign might be when I started building it, you have all elevated it to something so much more beyond that. And I am as much along for the ride as you guys are, and it's been just the most joyous experience. So thank you guys so much for making this happen for me every 2 weeks. You know, I love you guys so much for this. And I love you all in chat for hanging out with us and for chilling out and for doing the thing. So thanks so much for doing that. If you're here catching the VOD, thank you for watching. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe. I don't know how to do YouTube promos. We'll figure that out later. Otherwise,
Please do actually subscribe to our YouTube.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, drop a like and
you
subscribe.
that watch are not subscribed, and it really helps the viewer. Or it really helps the YouTuber.
Helps the algorithm. True
If you
facts.
subscribe, it's free.
Technically,
It's
100% of the viewers that watch are subscribed because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who watches our VODs.
Well, listen.
Oh.
Well, no, we
That's
get
mostly
some
'cause I edit
views.
them.
We get some views. We get some views. That's not important right now.
Yeah.
Point being, thank you guys for checking it out. If you're here watching a VOD, then please sure, if you want to, drop a like, a comment, or subscribe on our YouTube. If you're here watching us on Twitch in a VOD or live, drop a follow if you haven't. We are 2 followers away from 100.
So close.
So
We gotta do a thing at 100 followers, guys. We gotta do a thing.
Oh yeah.
We haven't figured out a thing to do. But Michelle,
This will open an
Yeah.
OnlyFans when we hit 100
Oh
followers.
my god. That seems like a low bar. Like, I don't know.
I'm only worth 100
I don't know if
followers?
100
God
is
damn.
enough.
all right. Anyway, point being, completely skipping that over. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hi.
Should we plug the thing again?
The one
thing?
shot
The thing?
campaign.
No, yes,
The war
that.
thing.
So,
Yes.
we've said it already, but we'll say it again. Upcoming very soon is A Blade's Wheel Heaven and A Blade's Wheel Steel, our 2 alternate rotating one-shot campaigns based in our homebrew Naruto universe, using the 5e Naruto supplement. If you like that world we built, if you love the one-shot we were playing and all the fun we had, and you want to play in the supplement during a great Shinobi War, sign up. We are taking rotating players, so you can hop in for 1 session and then hop out for forever. You can do 1 session and then be in the background so you're not busy. You can do 1 session and then do a text RP. You can be in recurring sessions, however you want to play it out. Just please sign up where there is no limit to how many people we're taking in. We're going to post like the first episodes or 2 and like take a couple players for each one. But there will always be open sign-ups, so please sign up for that. Put in player applications already if you want to get ahead of the curve on that, so do that on our Discord here. We'll talk about all that more in a minute. Players, please give us your outros. Take it away, Michelle, whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm Michelle. I'm playing our currently very confused and exhausted wizard Coatl folk person. She is a she today. I don't social media, so you know.
Fair enough.
Add her on LinkedIn.
Had her on LinkedIn.
You know that's true, but I don't think
That's a horrible
how
idea, don't
often
do
we
that.
updated LinkedIn?
Yeah, that's a really bad idea.
Don't do that. It's a horrible idea. Anywho, Lucian, whenever you're ready.
Alright. Hey, it was Lucian. It was me today. I played our pair of lizards, 1 giant, 1 folk. That can now maybe sometimes talk to a lot of beasts at the same time.
I can.
And you just don't. I'll be here next week. Or 2 weeks from now.
That's true. You'll be too busy doing captain things.
Yes.
It's all right though.
I'll be too busy captaining the party
Too busy
whale.
captaining party whale.
That's our raid message, right?
It's gotta be
You can't
captain.
not be party whale.
It's gotta be party whale. Yeah. Okay.
Party whale.
All right. Heck, take it away.
Hey guys, it's me, Zor'aa. You know, I played Z, the Clash Tower College of Spirits Bard. That's per usual. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and pretty much all the social medias at Zor'aa just to see what I'm doing next. You can find me usually here every other week for Seven Suns and in his divine name. However, we won't be doing that tomorrow because a bunch of us are busy. But we will get back to you guys at some point.
Just let the tension build.
We're
That's all.
figuring it out. Yeah,
we're letting the tension.
We really are.
We're letting narrative tension build.
Yeah, like we left on quite the cliffhanger. But yeah, other than that, you can find me doing a bunch of stuff with TPK. Like this coming week, I have Queen's Gambit. Finally, the return of Queen's Gambit, our Tyranny of Dragons campaign. So definitely check that out. Other than that, I'm probably not into much more. So yeah, just follow me on social media to see what I'm gonna do next, because I almost never know. That's about it. Moving on.
One left. Dan, take it away whenever you're ready.
Oh, yeah, hi. I'm Dan. I play Mako, our possessed suit of armor who is now simultaneously going through an existential and an identity crisis.
Story of my life.
Yes, for real. You can follow me on Twitter at LandTheDan, and I will be here. I am usually here. I'm usually here every other Sunday in our Cyberpunk campaign, Neon Night City Lights. I will be off this coming week, but I will be right back here the week after that for more of this at same dragon time, same dragon place.
Same dragon game.
Yep.
And lastly, I have been, and compared to these four stellar talents, certainly, leastly, I have been your host, Young Foxxii, aka Big Foxxii, aka Punished Foxxii, your favorite fox. I am usually hanging around here over on Neon Lights Roleplay, doing all kinds of things. So let's see, where will you guys see me next? Well, the next place you'll see me is, well, like I said, not tomorrow, as In His Divine Name is being canceled for tomorrow, as people are busy with real life stuff, and that happens. But don't worry, next session, when we bring it back, will be a banger. So stay tuned for that, alright? But the next things you'll see me in are, well, here, upcoming, we absolutely have more episodes of Neon Night City Lights, where I'm playing Fox the Fixer, who is both running for mayor and trying to keep his friends from eating bullets. Going so well so far. You'll also catch me upcoming soon, as I'm currently working on the editing, pretty soon in episode 1 of Core Hearts, our Overarms campaign, where I play just the most anime himbo you've ever seen, and I was born to do it, in my opinion. That's mostly where you'll see me here, In His Divine Name, Seven Sons, Neon Lights, and this, occasionally popping in for a one-shot. I'm actually going to go ahead and announce something pretty soon. Coming up on either the 11th or the 13th, still double-checking, will be A Way Out, a Neon Lights one-shot powered by the End of the World. I've gathered 4 of my awesome friends in the system End of the World by Fantasy Flight Games. We have a super fun premise for a one-shot where my friends show up for a fun party with me in Philly, and then shit goes wrong. It's going to be great. I've got an all-star cast. I won't announce them yet, but trust and believe me, you will not want to fucking miss it. It's going to be great. I've rambled for more than enough time. Sign up for the Naruto campaign. Check out the Discord. Join the, sign up to be a player. Be ready for the Naruto campaign. Watch out for Core Hearts Episode 1. Outside of Neon Lights, where you'll see me is over on TPK. I'm only in one campaign with them now for Cold Hands, Warm Hearts every other Friday. That should be dope. Looking forward to that. Outside of that, I'm also going to be popping up on some new stuff soon. I can't yet announce it just yet because there's still a lot of green room stuff going on. But, yeah, Foxxii going to be busy soon. I'm going to say. And that's all I got for there. So this has been a great thing. I rolled, and based on the dice, decided that we are going to raid our dear friend of the show, Arc Dragon's Breath. We're going to pop on over there to our friend, who is just chatting right now, and we're going to tell him to chat about party whales, okay?
Party whales.
Party
whales.
So let's go ahead and liven the chat up for our friend Arc, alright? Thank you all for joining us so much. Please say goodbye to my lovely players. Players, say goodbye to our chat. It's been a great time. We love you all so fucking much, and cannot wait to see you all back here on Neon Lights Roleplay. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.